comments. Already 80 comments and counting, so I'm definitely going to be skipping over most of them tonight. Because, we don't want to be here all night. We don't want it to be a super long episode. But let me just get into real quick to start off with. I'm going to do my usual promos, and in particular because two of these fellas with me are guys that I'm doing the promos for. So, first, let me go here. Hold on, let me jump into the chat so I can post the link. And first for Nicky B, I usually do him last, but I'm putting in just Nick Barucci's YouTube EXP channel homepage because as of earlier today, they didn't seem to have his original art experience episode for this coming Friday scheduled yet. So that's to the homepage. So everybody, please take a look here at Mr. Barucci himself. Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. You can claim some art. Usually it's a claim show / talk show. And more often than not, affordable art with occasional higher end pieces. So please do check that out when you have a chance. And next on the docket, let me get the URL, and that is for, hold on a second. Here we go. So Mike, my pal that's just on the screen to your right, he did a very simple, as always, he likes to keep it short and sweet. Nice video today called Comic Art Commission Reveal. And so I don't have to tell you what that's going to be about. It's pretty self-explanatory.
In the title.
But it's in the title. And here we go. I'm popping that into the chat, direct the URL to the video. It's only what, Mike? Like the usual, roughly 6 minutes long, I believe it was, right?
6 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's fun. And easily digestible, so that's always awesome. And then let me grab the other link, and that is for my other pal here, diagonally to the bottom of me, beneath Mike. Here we go. There you go. Carl himself from Carl's Collection, the channel on YouTube. That's what it's called. And he put out his latest episode of Bagged and Boarded. It's episode, I believe, 28. Carl, is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's 28, yeah.
It's 28. Yeah. It's 28. So that's fun as usual. He reviews the sixth and final issue of the Absolute Batman. So for those of you wondering, it does come, well, the story arc comes to an end this month. Yes, we reviews that. And a handful of other comics that he is reading every month. So here you go, guys. That's the direct link to that video.
Should have an art unboxing sometime this week. So
another one this week. Okay, sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Nice. All right. And that's that. So I've got YouTube plus Nicky, and I believe that's it. Kavi's empty. Kavi, he's still chilling. He's chilling like Bob Dylan. No videos for him lately. So we'll
nope. I'm satisfied with my black output.
Yeah. That's all good, man. It's all good. It's all good. All right, so I'll just pop in real quick, guys. I'm not going to be able to say hello to you all, but let me at least not pop. I'm not going to pop all your comments on screen because that'll take too long. I did want to say, Derek Neiman, you popped this in here a few days ago, and then you did it now, half an hour ago, and I'm just wondering, like, I'm not so up on, what the cool kids are doing with their emojis and shit. Does that mean anything? Because, like, I don't. Like, is that just like, wow, look what's happening? Like, I don't know. I don't understand what that means. So, Derek, if you're here, let me know. You guys, by any chance, know if that's supposed to mean anything?
The YouTube text for that emoji is face fuchsia tongue out.
Okay, well, that's exactly what's happening.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. I don't know why there's a lizard. I don't know why there's like an alligator or a lizard in there, but yeah.
Tom, what's up? Mr. Red Jack, what's going on? Hey, Sean Clancy in the house. Sean Clancy going to be my guest next week. Actually, you know what, guys? I'll come back to you in the chat room in a second. Let me quickly mention right away. I'll remind you at the end of the show. But next week, I guess you could call it another bit of experimentation. In that I'm going to try. So pay attention carefully here. I'm going to try a new series. Here, let me pop this up. I'll speak while you guys look at it. Okay, so I'm going to try a new series called Comic Art Commissions, all right? Now, most of you guys already know I'm not a commission collector, and I don't plan to be collecting commissions, but I realize that insofar as this space, the art collecting space on YouTube goes, there's really nothing out there for commission collectors. And so, given that I've been wanting to do another roundtable episode about commission collecting, since I did my first one like 2.5, close to 3 years ago, and I never got around to it, I thought, well, let me do something about commissions, and let me just get something started, and hopefully it becomes something that can be, an occasional ongoing series. And I'm starting with Sean because I needed to fill a hole in the schedule for next week, and Sean was available, so I was able to at least start the first episode quickly and not have to once again, set the idea aside. And let me come back to you. And but what I would like it to be is basically more of a chat show. You guys know, like the main reason I never have time to read comics anymore, see movies, watch television series. It's because I realize pretty much all my free time I'm spending looking for guests, producing episodes of the shows. If it's not the upcoming week, it's for the ones that are like 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, whatever. And it's exhausting. I want to try to get some of my free time back. So I want to try to create series or episodes where that we can do that won't really necessarily involve me having to also spending a lot of time creating slides for a bunch of artwork. So those of you, I know most of you guys, I'm not sure about the Rewind guys, but I do believe most Rewind and ULive viewers are primarily published art collectors. But if you have friends who are primarily commission collectors, please pass the word around. Just let them know that I'm going to be doing this series. But I want you guys to know that the series may never happen beyond next week's episode with Sean. See, part of the trouble I'm having is like I'm not. It's hard enough to get guests to come on, brand new guests that have never done it before, to do show and tells about published art. But me not being in the commission sphere, part of the hobby, it's even harder. I don't really know people that are primarily commissioned people. So I would need you guys to do me a favor. Everybody knows somebody who's, really big into commissions. Spread the word. Tell them, hey, maybe there's going to be a show that we do once in a while on this channel that will be specifically for commission collectors. But I would really love, it's more likely going to start happening. Nice. It's really going to happen most likely. In other words, okay, the series may not go beyond next week's episode. And the reason being that if I'm the one who has to always keep searching for people, that's why it may not happen again. So if you're out there, if you're listening and you're a commission collector primarily, and you would like to do your part to participate and, encourage that we do more episodes about commission collecting, then I really encourage you to reach out to me. and tell me that you'd like to participate. And it'll primarily be about, you guys come into the studio with me like these guys are, and you just share stories about your journeys in commission collecting. And we'll show art, but unlike most of my other shows, I will not be turning your art scans into slides, because that's the only way I can recapture some of my time back. You're going to have to satisfy yourselves with, we'll talk about art, whatever, and I'll put pieces of art up, but I'll just put the scan of the singular piece of art, which will pop up right in the middle of the screen, and that'll be that. So I don't find it looks as professional, but whatever. If you're willing to go with that, check out next week's episode with Sean, because that's how I'm going to do it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So anyways, yeah, please pass the word around to your commission collecting friends. I would appreciate that, and have them reach out to me, please, if they want to help encourage that I do more content for commission collectors, okay? All right. Let me just pop back in here and really continue real quick. So where were we? All right. So Marcus, the jokester. Corey, what's up? Mr. Red Jack. Who else we got? Alberto. And look at that. My dude, 247 Comics. What's going up, Carl? Hey, my lovely wife. What's going on? Thank you, Vivian. CJ, as always, appreciated. Jason Ladwig, just checking to say hi and leave it light. Traveling can't stay long. No problem, Jason. Have a good, safe travels. Safe travels. What else we got? Who else we got new here? A lot of people. Oh, we got Derek's in the house. Electric Blue PG-13. Carl. Yes, sir. Rodney's in the house. What's going on? Hey, what's up, Marcelo? Good to see you. And who else do we got? Man, it's all the same guys making comments. Peter, what's going on? Good to see you. And yeah, you guys here in the studio with me make it even harder, because I gotta skip over your comments too. Let me see.
Yeah, come on.
Who else? Anybody else new? Anybody? Hi, there we go. John's Comics with Kids. What's going on? Evening to you, my friend. The Rickster, Slido Pole Vaulting. Yes, sir. And who else? Oh, John Brown. Good evening to you, my friend. Good to see you. And who else? Who else? Anybody new? Oh, there he is. Derek Neiman. Is it Neiman or Nyman? I can't imagine it would be Nyman. I'm going to go with Neiman. I'm going to say Neiman. Just let me know if I'm right. And who else we got here? Carl Mo is out of control. Is he? Did I skip him? I didn't see Carl.
No, I think Vivian was asking if I had a store behind me, and they just said, no, I'm out of control.
Oh, okay.
Not untrue.
Not untrue. Let's see. Who else do we got? Okay, the same.
It's relatively clean. It looks relatively clean, at least.
Yeah,
yeah. Organized.
Right? Working on it. Yeah, it's a work in progress.
What's up, Matty? Howdy do. What's going on, man? Hey, TJ. Apparently we are here to see serrated by Ruben the Fender. Yeah, nice. What's going on? Sig Slayer Station Comic Book Headquarters. Carl is my DC hero. Nice. Thanks for dropping in. And who else? A blob of shit, apparently, from Marcus. Thank you very much. We love that. Cesar Alvarez. What's going on? Good to see you, man. And who else? Anybody else in the house? Said hello to Sean, Peter. Yep, Rick. Okay, Ruben must be making what? Cats hand over fist. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Stop blaming us for how you having no life. But I do blame you. You are the reason. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Stanley's in the house. Do two or three shows a week. Yeah, right. Buck Master B, who loves Carl's show, a big supporter of Carl's collection YouTube channel. So that's very cool.
He has his own channel with
and he's got his own channel.
Art. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so very cool. Bunkmaster B, good to see you. And who else we got here? Anybody else? Oh, no pressure, Sean. 247. Man, you guys are wild with the comments. All right, TJ. Okay, yeah, I think. Oh, there we go. Tom McDonald coming in from Chicago. What's up?
What's up, Tom?
Good to see you. And let's see. Oh, somebody new. I think. Oh, Greg Parker, also from your channel. I saw him. I see Greg in your comment section, Carl, right?
Hello, Energon Universe fan. So
Yeah.
What's up, Greg?
Yeah. What's up? Good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. And of course, Cab always dropping in just to register your like and say hello to everybody and catch on Rewind. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it as always. And Maki Poo Poo, good to see you, man. What's going on? Oh, look at that. All the way in the United Kingdom. Late as always, Pat Bear. What's going on? Evening to you, my friend. Wow, that's always nice to have you. And if the offer is right, I'm sure Carl's Space could become a store. Right. It looks like a store already, though, right? So
I'm not that attached to any of it.
And you did say that before on camera, Carl, too. I remember that when you've done your videos, on some of those videos, you have said, like, yeah, I bought this and I loved it, but I'm not so attached. Everything has a price. If it's got to go, it's got to go. Yeah. And so that's what I love about I love your honesty and admitting that,
There is a time where it might be worth more than I like it. So it's got to go.
Yeah.
Recycle those hobby funds. Yeah. Whatever.
I love it. I love that, man. I love the honesty. So keep it up. Keep doing that. Nick Barucci, what's going on? Likes are free. Supporters time. Yeah, please hit the oh yeah, I'm very far away from where it is, but somewhere diagonally that way beneath Carl, you see the thumbs up. Hit that, please. And I believe that is it, folks. What's up from Greg again? And what do we got? Everybody saying hello to each other. And I have caught up. Oh, one last newbie. Who's this one? Drunk Superman.
Yeah, the Superman 3. Drunk Superman from Superman 3.
Drunk Superman.
He's a fellow Superman fan. Yeah.
Okay. All right. What's up? Thanks for dropping in. Okay. So you already forgot what today's show is about. All right. Well, guess what? Read the description, and then you'll know. All right.
The light reading.
You already forgot, Kavi. Oh, okay.
I'll remind you the assignment. You didn't do the assignment properly.
Remind you as we go. Okay, everybody. So just real quick to let you know what tonight's theme is. As you I know that you guys saw here that I decided to call this episode, comic art throughout history. So basically what we decided to do, or I decided to do, and they went along with it, is we since we all have chosen 5 pieces, right? So think of it as five rounds, okay, that we're all going to take a turn showing a piece. What I figured for this first episode within an episode, or series within a series, if you will, is that we try to cover as much of the history of comics, so let's say from the 1930s to present, as possible, right? Just to cover as many of you and your interests as we can. And so the 5 categories for tonight, what they are is, the first one is basically 1930s to 60s. And the second one is 1970s. The third one is 1980s. The fourth one, 1990s. And then the fifth and final one is the 2000s to present. Okay. And so everybody was instructed they can only pick one piece from each of those eras. Okay.
I did make my picks before you said 1930s to 60s, and I just went straight 60s with mine.
Yeah, and that's exactly, that's okay. Yeah,
I probably would have done that anyway, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I figured most of us would do 60s anyways, but I figured I'll open it up, just to cover every decade that comics have existed in America.
One of us couldn't follow the assignment.
Yeah, well, guess who? That one of us.
The title I chose ran into 1961, so it qualified.
Okay.
What do you mean?
Specific piece. What's that?
What? I don't know what you mean though. You, Cobby and Carl, you don't know what he picked. So what do you mean he didn't follow? How do you know he didn't follow?
I mean,
It was in the
Well, because
email.
you said you said we changed the category because of what Mike picked.
yeah,
That's what you told us.
because it was going to be the 60s, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I
That's-
mean, whatever. If it's I don't
Whatever.
know. It's
It's
fun.
just-
Yeah.
None
yeah.
of this is our own art, so that's
Right,
how
yeah.
much we're
That-
BSing tonight.
No.
guys.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. And let me make clear to all of you. What's up, Carlos? Let me make clear to everybody that because I have always wanted my guests, I appreciate their time. And the reason, as you all know, the reason that when I first started Show and Tell, the reason that I decided I was going to be the selector of all the artwork, it's not because I wanted to do that. It's because I figured that was going to be my best opportunity to entice people to say yes to me to be a guest. I figured if they don't have to do any work, then except for just showing up on Sunday night, then I would have a better chance of succeeding and putting on more episodes, right? So in this case, because of the format of the show, obviously all three of these guys have to choose. They have to do choosing, right? Because that's not our own art. But not only is it only 5 pieces that they all had to choose, but I also told them, so be aware, I told them this is not about, try to choose your favorite thing you can find from every decade. It was just to save time, just try to scroll through, stuff from every decade and pick the first thing that you find catches your eye. And that's it. So simple, and that's that, okay?
That's definitely what I did because it took me about 5 minutes to make my picks.
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
And so those of you watching, that's how the choices were made by basically all of us. And after every round, we will do a poll, and the question will just basically be, put the out of the 4 pieces you just saw, put them in the order from your favorite to least favorite. That's it. So it's not a competition or anything, but I just needed some kind of basic questions to test.
It's a fun experiment, and
experimenting with the whole poll taking or whatever,
But secretly, Rubens, who he's doing the slides because whoever loses will never be invited back. He's like, I don't know.
Everybody, please don't vote for me, so I don't ever have to come back.
What's up, Tim?
We're gonna start trashing our own pieces.
Oh man, let's do the time warp again. Got a nice 30s prelim. Nice. And okay, you guys. Let's say, what the F is he talking about? But it is a competition. It's all friendly competition if you want. But if this goes well, in the future, I would like to do a similar type episode where, again, if people are willing, if the guests are willing to spend the time to look for a longer period of time, so they find something that they really like a lot and think they're going to win, then we can make it a competition, a fun competition if they want to, But so we'll see. We'll see how tonight goes first anyways, And you'll be able to vote. Right. I'll be sharing the screen, and I'll give you a link to the Slido, and that's how you'll do it. If it works. I only just learned how to use it 2 days ago, and we'll see if it works. All right. So Battle of the YouTube Network Stars. Only if it's a show to showcase original triple. Nice. Of course. Set a record time, Stanley. Jesus. Okay. All right. So everybody, ready to get into it, and how it's going to work is we're just going to go clockwise. I'll start it off. And we'll go clockwise from me to Mike to Carl, then to Cobby. And then, we'll all look at the pieces and just talk about them. And that's it. Yeah, once we get to the end of Cobby's piece and chatting about his piece, that's when I'll share the screen and we'll try to do the Slido and see how that works. All right?
About my pick. I'm calling them picks more than my piece. I just don't want to misrepresent that I own any of them.
No, we don't own any of these.
Yeah.
We don't own, just to be clear, we don't own them. That's it. Yeah. We're just choosing from anywhere all over the internet. You're allowed to choose from anywhere. That's it. Yeah. And like I said, this episode is not about everybody trying to choose their favorites. It was just pick something that catches your eye and spend as little time as possible doing it. That's it. All right.
I followed
Okay.
the assignment.
Let's
Like,
go.
oh,
Let's have fun.
Don't do a lot of work. Okay, I won't.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So are we good?
We're good.
All right. You guys ready? All right. So
Can you explain it one more time? What we're doing?
yes. Wait, so let me start from the scratch again, Carl. So I was saying, yeah, no.
We were so
Um,
freaking close.
Damn it! Damn it!
I thought that was his backstory.
Yeah. Well, there you go. But okay, hey, look, it's 29 minutes in, 30 minutes now, so it's perfect timing. So yes, Jeff, you own all of tonight's pieces. Exactly, it's all out of your
There we
collection.
go.
So I'm going to start, and as a reminder, yep. So this is going to be first category, comic art from the. It could be picked for anywhere from the 1930s to the 1960s. All right. And so for my first choice, I thought this. I got to start with this. How can I not? Let's check this one out. Marvel Comics #1 from 1939. Bill Everett in the collection of Jim Halperin. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to be straight out. This is not the greatest Bill Everett art you will ever see. I didn't show this or pick this because I thought, I'm going to blow you away with, amazing comic book, technically amazing comic book work. To me, this is all about the historical nature of it. Just the fact that any page whatsoever from this comic book, just the fact that it still exists blows my mind. I remember when this first came out, and there was a whole story behind it. Actually, Mike Berkey sort of brought it out, and I don't remember a lot of the details of the story, but I do remember that it was Berkey who had brought it out, and it was owned, interestingly enough, by, I believe, Pete Morris. What is his name? The guy from Charlton, Pete Morrissey. Was that the artist's name in Charlton? Anyways, it's one of these Charlton guys, which was very strange because, why would a guy who worked, let's say, either the 60s or 70s at Charlton, how the heck would he have ended up with it, And so either way, just amazing that it somehow survived. Great to see that some of you in the chat have seen this in a live exhibit. Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Thank you, Stanley. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's on my wall behind me. And yes, sir, badass page. And yes, Pete Morrissey, thank you for confirming that, Sean. And so just very historical. And let me quickly show you the other scan I made of it, just so you see, what the page on the interior looks like. Not the greatest printing, obviously, 1939. But
you can't whip out your near mint copy and just scan it.
Yeah, right. No, yeah. I was a bit lazy, ran out of time.
I didn't want to crack the slab.
Got it.
You already put too much time into the show already, so
Right.
But yeah, so that's it. That's my 30s to 60s piece.
they can show that page as a reminder because some people like with some modern art where it's like, the backgrounds aren't great, the backgrounds are minimal. It's like, show them that page and say like, hey, that's just anything modern with no background, just a callback to where it all began.
Yeah.
That's what
But had you guys had all you guys do you remember, like, you've seen that before, like on in the online world?
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Is it on CAF, that page?
I don't know if it's on CAF. I didn't bother to check. I just had the scan in my computer since it first
seen
hit the market.
I have not seen it. And that's cool. I mean, it's cool to see something out of
Maybe I saw it because somebody took a picture of it at the exhibit and shared it to Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, exactly, Greg. Yeah, that's well said. Yeah, the guy from the Smiths. I don't know what you mean by that.
Morrissey.
What about Morrissey?
He's the guy from the Smiths.
No, I know, but why would he mention that? Why is he asking the guy from the Smiths?
Because the guy that owned it was Pete Morrissey.
Oh, okay.
This is going to be a long show. I got to walk you through.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The jokes, the killer jokes. All right. All right, so I'm happy though that you, Carl, that's cool. At least you were first time
Yeah.
you've never had any idea that thing
I did.
existed.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah, that to me that's like only second, I guess, second or third in sort of shocking and important that it exists. Only to like if there was a page from Action One, Detective 27. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Okay, so fantastic. Hey, Tom Kazalowski, what's up? What was that? Ruben's page? No. None of the pages.
I answered him in the chat, but yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. There we go. Okay. All right. So next, Mike, you ready for yours?
I think I'm ready. Yeah.
All right. Let's see what you chose from the era 1930s to 1960s. Here we go.
Yeah. So Black Cat. I don't know. I have no connection to this cover except for the image is just striking. I like it so much. I actually have 2 commissions that are an homage to this cover.
Yeah.
I like these Black Cat, funky characters, weird monsters. They're just striking covers, and so that's why I picked it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I just like the zaniness of it all, right? Like,
yeah, zany. That's a good word.
Yeah, giant scary cat. I don't know if it's a giant cat or if the people just shrank, whatever. But
yeah, I don't know what the story is.
Yeah. I just like the whole zaniness of it all. The look how gigantic the cat's eyes are. Like it's just like what the heck, you know? Some of the craziest stuff that they figured like the kids would like, I suppose, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, they still got the damsel in distress. I'm hesitant to call her a good-looking woman on the cover.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this considered good girl art or no?
I would not. I wouldn't go there. No, I wouldn't personally. But you know, yeah. I mean, what do you think, Hobby? Would you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me ask my AI buddy real quick, and then I'll circle back with you.
Oh, look at that, CJ! What a mean bastard, Butterface.
I'm sure if I ask my AI buddy about it, I'll get back some results I wasn't expecting.
Yeah, Sean. So you've got about 1,800 pre-60 covers existing so far. Wow. Yeah, so that's a lot more.
This makes me wish I knew about the expanded date range before I chose my 60s piece, because I feel like there's so much wider of a variety of types of cover work in the golden age, except there's way less.
Yeah.
There's way less art to find, right? So it's like wider variety, but less to choose from out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I'll say this title ran into 1961, so it qualified. But Ruben blames me for going to opening up to the 30s, so he went all the way back to 1930s.
He's like, I'll trump you.
Yeah, that was a 20-year extension for no good reason, right there.
Right? He's like, oh, I'll blame this on Mike, so I can pick my piece.
Yeah, I see what happened.
That's a good point.
No, you know what? Actually, what really happened is when Mike gave me his picks, he initially. The real problem with his pick for this category was he had initially picked another Black Cat type cover.
I'm never being invited back.
But
one pick in.
We didn't know. Like, first of all, it was a photograph and it was a really bad quality photograph, so that wasn't really helpful. But also, the owner didn't have any information. We didn't know like what year it was from, what issue it was from. So it's just kind of like, you know what? Can you just pick another one, dude? And that's when he picked this, you know. Yeah. But this was much better, I think.
Good pick. I like the pick, Mike.
Yeah, I love the monsters at the bottom. Those characters, those are cool. They just look really fun
trying to drag her down into hell or something. Pit of hell, right? Yeah, it's cool.
It takes 4 of them she must be a Wonder Woman prototype or something.
Yeah, she's a powerhouse, exactly. All right, sounds good. Very cool. Good pick, Mike. Thank you for that. Carl, you're up next. You ready for that?
Sure.
All right, let's cue this up. Oh yeah, this one. Those of you who were on CAP last week, you were looking, if you happen to look at these, you would have seen I think I left a comment on every single one of these, and the owner posted the whole collection. I think there's like 20 something pieces, but check this one out.
Yeah, this thing. I have no attachment to this. I guess is it a newspaper strip? I have no idea. I don't know what the title is.
It's what it is. It's done in the format of a Sunday strip,
okay.
but it was like a strip that Don Newton did, and he had not turned pro yet. So this is 1968. Okay. So this was still a few years before he even went pro. And they were reprinting this series of strips in an old sort of fanzine, if you will, called Rocket's Blast Comic Collector.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
fanzine. Exactly what you said to do. Just look through stuff that jumped out at you. This one jumped out at me. Like, it just has this cool, creepy vibe to it. I love it. I mean, me as a fan of, Frankenstein and that kind of stuff, it immediately it gave me that kind of vibe of Frankenstein.
Yeah.
But like, I love that first panel where he comes in with a really well lit cave, and then I don't know, it's just all the lab tech equipment in the background, the perspective of the guy in the tube laying there. It was awesome. I love this piece, and then close it off with that close up with the heavy ink, and just sweet looking piece.
Yeah, I loved all of the examples, and when he got to this one, I was like, oh shit, that's awesome. Yeah, that's really, really cool. And I mean, I couldn't believe just how good he was, not having gone pro yet. Now I will, just to add to that, I will have to say, though, with a little caveat, is that caveat. You like that?
I haven't heard that one before.
Well, the thing is that, so the reason he was good enough to have gone pro, but the reason he hadn't is because Newton, in that time, he lived in Arizona. Hello, Mike. And back in those days, to work at Marvel or DC, the publishers wanted you to be in New York. I mean, literally, they wanted you to be in Manhattan, even if possible, So it wasn't a normal thing for them to sort of hire people who were not already there in Manhattan, or at least within the city of New York. And so that's why it took him a long time, much longer than usual. I believe he was already 27 when he was doing these strips, and then ultimately only broke in, I believe, in 72 or 3 or 4, somewhere around there, So got a late start, but I guess that kind of helped. That tells you why he was already that advanced, because it's not like he was some 18, 19-year-old trying to break in already, Yeah. So, but yeah, just really, really amazing stuff. And I thought after all those episodes that we had showed of showing Don Newton Batman pages dropping in price constantly, I was like, oh, let's at least, honor Don and show some cool old shit that he did before he became pro. Yeah. Okay, these would do well on Clink, would they? Yeah, probably. Well, for you and me to buy if we bid on them, probably. I think so. And exactly. Cyclops glasses, Alberto. And John was also hampered being from Australia. I'm sure she was. Newton's passing from a reaction to Milk, I believe, was the way Todd McFarlane got his professional debut at DC, an All-Star Squadron. Passing from a reaction, it was a reaction to Milk. I never heard that one. I got to tell you, Sean, that's a weird one to me. But I'll keep it in mind. I won't pass that story around just in case, though. But
there's going to be a lactose intolerance little wordplay in there somewhere.
Yeah, probably. But okay, sounds good. And so that's the killer third piece in the first round. Kavi, you're up next. So, for this, you picked a pretty sweet one, and he's probably not here anymore, but hopefully he does watch it on Rewind. And if you do watch it on Rewind, Mr. Owner of this piece, make sure to prove that you watched it on Rewind. Let me know in the comment section of the video after you watch it that you saw this. All right, check it out.
Okay, so in the spirit of doing as little work as possible, I went into the galleries that I follow on CAF, see who posted somewhat recently, clicked on a few galleries, and made a few quick picks. And of course, Comic Art Boston Cab himself. I mean, one of the best collections on CAF. Pretty easy to choose one from pretty much every one of the decades from his gallery. And as far as I know, he hasn't done a show and tell, right? So. So I was happy to choose something from his gallery, and like I said, I stuck to 60s. John Romita, Senior Daredevil 19 cover. I mean, all the comments in the chat are pretty much covering it. It's an epic cover. He only did 8 covers, right? If I'm not mistaken, he did an 8-issue run on Daredevil. I think issue 12 was his first Marvel cover, right? Or maybe even his first Marvel Comics work, if I'm not mistaken. So. And then issue 16 was the first time he drew Spider-Man, right? And I believe the issue after this one was his last cover. But this is number 19. For me, I think this is the best. This is my favorite of the Romita Senior Daredevil covers. I know that the number 16 cover with him and Spidey kind of is the more iconic image or remembered image from that. But for me, this is like my personal favorite cover, like especially like the way that you see the movement lines in that double kick to the face, to the two faces, like just that snapshot is so incredible. But then it's surrounded by so much other details, so many other figures, background details. You know, you got buildings, you got the full trade dress on there. Even just the trade dress is amazing to me, and the corner box art. It's just an incredible piece unto its own. And even if I knew that we could select from 1930s all the way up through the 60s, I still may have picked this one because I just love it.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
I love it. And this being 66, it's got to be twice up, right?
Yeah.
Wow. That's got to be even more impressive.
He didn't have a ton of details in the description, but he did mention that contrary to some records online or wherever, that he inked it as well. Maybe there's some contradictory information out there that Romita didn't ink that one, but I couldn't. I'm not an expert enough just by looking at it to say, yeah, Romita inked that one, or somebody else did. But according to Cab's description, Romita inked it as well. So really cool.
Okay, cool. All right, everybody. So this is the part of the show for the first time where I experiment and see if I know what the hell I'm doing with Slido. All right, so I'm going to pop in this link. Here you go. All right, so there's a link to get yourselves to Slido. I'm going to set myself up here and share the screen. Let me see here. Share.
There's no active poll.
Yeah, it says there's no active poll. Do you have to turn it on?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm just doing the share screen first. All right. I got that going. All right. Okay. And now you should have the ability to vote. Those of you who have hit that link should have the ability to vote.
That is right. Yeah, I see it.
That's right. Dwayne's a pain. You better be just jerking me around. He says my poll is broken.
It's not. It works.
Yeah, it's working.
Thanks, Dino. Hey, what's up? Good to see you, Dino, by the way.
Hey, Dino. What's up, man?
All right. And let me see. So far it's showing 2 participants ranking.
Looks like there's a total of, if you look on the other side, it's like 14. I think 14.
Yeah, I see 14 people have voted already.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right.
I think it's showing 2 people are actively, 4 people are.
Yeah, that's in real time. Like who's doing their homework right now live on screen, filling out their quiz.
Okay, so I just give it. I don't want to take like long for this stuff, guys. So I really want to do it no more than like 60, like a minute. So don't take a bunch of time to think about it. Just kind of vote quickly because, like I said, it's not a competition tonight.
Don't take more time than it took Copy to pick all of his picks for tonight.
It literally took me 30 seconds each.
Well, if there's
All right.
44 watching and you get 20 votes, then that's half the people. That's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, look, some people don't give a crap about voting, so that's okay. But those of you who want, that's fine. So we got
Or they
22
watch
voters.
anonymously.
It's about
in
half,
general.
half the participants, so that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to close the poll now, everyone. You've had enough time, so let me do that. Close the voting. It should say close voting. Voting closed. Does it?
Poll
Yep.
Poll
locked.
locked.
Yep.
Yeah, it says poll
Yep.
locked.
Okay, and now if this works, I shall reveal the results. Here we go. Show results.
I voted.
Okay. So, I guess those of you in the chat who've seen this Slido thing happen before, I guess you can kind of tell me whatever questions I have about it. So, is the green lines, because I thought it was going to kind of tell us that, like, how many people may have voted for the first one, how many voted for the second one. That's what I thought it was going to be. But I guess that's what they're doing, but showing us with the length of the green line. Is that basically how we're supposed to take that?
There's
would
probably an option in the admin to display numbers or not.
I didn't see that.
Well, everybody voted ranked, like they put a number 1, they put a number 2, they put a number 3, they put a number 4. So I don't know how they do the math on the other end and then like display it personally. Right. I don't know.
Okay, but interesting. Okay, so interesting. So you guys have thoughts about this? Because I actually thought that Daredevil was going to take the number 1 spot.
Well, a lot of people may have voted it number 1, but then how did they vote the other things, right? Like in their rankings, and maybe Marvel Comics 1 got a lot of number 2s. You don't know.
Where it's like
Right?
weighted,
Like,
where like
until
number
you
one.
see it, yeah, like
weighted
I don't
for-
know. I can't really account for the math of how this is
But
presented.
no, but wouldn't these results show that in order for Marvel Comics 1 page to get the top spot, doesn't that definitely mean that more people chose that as their favorite than they did for the Black Cat piece?
It could have been like more chose
don't
it
know.
number 1 and number 2 to push it to number 1, whereas the Black Cat got more 2s and 3s. Or I
Okay.
don't know.
So like a number one vote would be worth like 5 points. A number 2 would be worth like 4 points.
Right.
And
Oh,
then-
like,
and
so
then
what you're
it, like,
saying,
adds up.
that's what you mean by weighted.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that's how it ranks it.
So if you got all number 2, you would actually come in first place because the number 1 and 3 would be divided.
I'm
amongst
sure
the rest.
maybe in the admin setting, like you can go in there and like look at more of the specifics, but I don't think it's really worth spending too much time on.
Yeah,
here.
it was way too high level
Let's
math
just
for a Sunday
let's just
night.
keep it rolling.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but I don't think it's an exact science.
Okay.
necessarily.
So everybody, just for those of you who have never done this before, do not get rid of your tab that you opened. Okay. Don't get rid of the tab. Keep the tab open because the next couple of poll questions, you'll need to keep that tab open. All right. All right. So let me come back to you guys. We'll stop sharing the screen here. And yeah, I don't know why Dwayne keeps insisting the poll's broken. He's just
Maybe I'm highlighting Jeff's comment here. He said averaging weight across all 4 pieces based on cumulative selections. I know that's a lot of wordiness, but that makes sense mathematically to me, but I don't know. I haven't seen the back end of the poll.
Mickey, we can't be here like all night. And I did it for like I must have kept it open for at least a good 2 minutes solid. Yeah. So if you're not paying attention and you're kind of like trying to do other things at the same time as you're kind of just listening in the background, you're going to come to it late. And don't forget also refresh to make sure your feed is up to date. And so you're only like 10 seconds behind, You'll get a few more questions anyway. So on the next one, be ready for the next one. Okay, already closed it. Exactly. Voted for Pedro. The polls are broken. Oh gosh, you jokesters. All right. All right. So yes, we're going to start the second round, folks. It's my turn again. So we come back around. And for this category, this is, as a reminder, it's the 1970s. So any piece from the 1970s that caught our attention. All right. And here we go. You guys have been hearing about this lately because of what happened with OAX, but whatever. I've always loved this cover. So here we go. Check this out.
Oh boy.
So Wonder Woman, number 199 by Jeff Jones, one of my all-time favorite, not only one of my all-time favorite Wonder Woman covers, but one of my favorite comic book covers of all time. Spectacular. And I do want to say, those of you who listen to Felix's podcast, or the two podcasts where the guys spoke about this and the trade that had Gene acquire this, both Tom Coker and Gene Park, if you listen especially to the second one, they both mentioned that this cover had first appeared to hit the market in 2017 at San Diego. Well, I'm here to tell you that this actually surfaced in 2014. I'm not going to get into the stories now, but suffice it to say, I have known about this since 2014, so 3 years before those guys saw it at San Diego. But yeah, listen, he did not do many mainstream comic book covers, Jeff Jones, and it's a thing of beauty. I've always loved the whole idea of, history about, the guillotine, chopping heads off prisoners, that whole sordid past part of history, executioners and the like. And so this cover sort of, plays on that whole thing. And I just think the way he drew the Wonder Woman figure is just beautiful. The way he drew everything, just fantastic. Not much more to say other than that. Fellas, what do you guys, anybody have anything to say about it?
I love this cover. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, Mike.
If I would have thought about it, I would have picked it.
If you, you like this one, do you? Are you familiar with this one though, Mike?
Yeah, I actually have a couple copies of the comic. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't know you had comics.
Just a couple.
Yeah. You got a couple of copies of this one?
Yeah, because the cover is awesome.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
But
it's
like-
considered it's considered a classic bondage cover unto its own, like regardless of the Wonder Woman content, I feel. But it is also a Wonder Woman cover, obviously, and it's a great one. It's a very memorable one. And when it comes to the 70s, I love the studio artists. Spoiler, I also chose a studio artist. Yeah.
Don't spoil. The black
it's
and
fine.
white is way better than the colored. Of course. They usually are, Sean. They usually are. You know that. And we actually have two guys. We actually have two haters. Apparently Alberto and Stanley. I didn't see the Stanley comment, but he's agreeing with Stanley that they both don't like this cover too much. But okay, you can't all love it.
I'll chime in. I don't hate it, but I don't. So when I heard the, Felix kind of advertised the biggest trade and kind of hyped up the podcast, and then I saw that this piece was one of them. I was like, huh, okay. I mean, like not that it's not bad. It was like it's just not what I was expecting to see in such a huge monumental trade.
But I also have to agree. I also have to think that not all of it, but part of that reaction by you is because of what we talk about all the time, right? Yeah. The whole way hyped the more you hype something and then your anticipation gets so built up.
I was like, oh, it has to be this
it has to be this unbelievable thing that you're just gonna blow your mind, right? And you're like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's more likely that that's how you're gonna react, right? Because of just where where you allowed your mind to go, basically, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, But okay, sounds
It's just
good.
the only thing I'll say is that it's just too bad we don't have like a nice high res scan of that cover.
Right.
to
There's no
enjoy.
better image online.
Yeah, I don't know.
I have it.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, hold on. Interestingly enough, I'm wondering. Actually, when I popped it up, I was like, hey, I thought I had made a couple of slides for that one. And let me check real quick here.
We don't have to waste time on it. We can just go to Mike's pick, right?
Screw it. Now that you got me, I'm
Yeah.
looking.
I mean, it's no Black Cat cover.
I mean, it's here we go, guys. Yeah, somehow I just forgot to upload it. So here, let me
Again, he already put too much work into the show. He's like half-assing it, you know.
He's just trying to get more screen time for his vote.
All right, here it is. Here's a better scan. Oh, sorry. Yeah, here it is.
Looks the same to me.
There you go.
There
Yeah.
it is.
So that's showing the full borders, all four borders, with the inscription to Alan, who's the initial owner, right there at the bottom. So yeah, beautiful. So this is how that guy used to have it, in this horrific frame with a horrific mat, falling, basically not even taped up so that it's crookedly falling to the left. It was just like, what the hell? All right. But anyways, okay. So 70s pick number 2 coming right up. Let me see. We have Mike's second pick, and that is this one.
Yeah, Rick Geary. I love his one-page stories, or he does these historical one-page stories that are always great, and I dig his style. And that's it. That's why I picked Rick Geary. Honestly, I didn't know his art went back all the way to the 70s. So when I saw this one, that's why I picked it. But
Okay.
his stories are always great, and his art, of course, is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you had not. Were you a National Lampoon reader or buyer at any time, Mike?
No, I didn't do any.
Okay.
Nothing as a kid. Yeah.
Okay.
Can't afford that trash.
How did you, out of curiosity, how did you first discover Rick Geary's work?
I don't know if it's in Dark Horse or some other, like in the 90s, he would have, like I said, these one-page stories, or like historical events,
Right.
and they would be published in anthologies, whether I think it was Dark Horse or it could have been some other small press publisher.
Right. Okay.
That's how I initially found them.
Okay. Hey, Mark Vega, what's up, pal? Geary
He
National
put out a
Lampoon.
couple of his own books as well
Okay, yeah.
through some publisher.
An inspired choice, by the way, Mike, says Mark.
I think me and Mark have the same artistic sensibilities.
Well, I can say I've always thought of, when I say about show and tell episodes, whenever I think about telling people that tell me like, oh, I don't know if you want to do my collection, because they do that, right? They're like, oh, I don't think anybody's going to want to look at my stuff. And what I often do is I say, have you seen any of like my episodes of show and tell? Like,
I had Mike on,
and then I'm like, have you seen Mike's and Mark's? I point to you guys all the time. I'm like, come on, man. If I'm showing that type of non-mainstream stuff, trust me, you and whatever you think about your lower end mainstream superhero stuff, trust me, you're gonna have your viewers, So.
I'd say to anybody that your gallery on CAF should be your favorite gallery on CAF. If it's
sure.
not, I don't know why you're collecting comic art if you don't have one of the best galleries on CAF.
You should. Everybody should, right?
Right. your gallery should at least be in the top 5.
I would say you should love it the best, right?
Right. And that's why you shouldn't say, I don't know why you wouldn't have me, because, you know, my calf gallery is one of the best on Comic Art Fans.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. You got to think that way. Otherwise, why are you buying it, right?
Look, I love my gallery, but I spend more time commenting on other people's art than posting
Well,
my
yeah,
own art.
it'd be weird
know?
if you spent all your time commenting on your own.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure. I hate display. It is. I have, see, look at that. If Caesar gets it, it is. I have the best gallery on calf. There you go.
I have to disagree.
You encourage him and then you just shoot him down, you know? That's awesome. Six Player says Mike is cooking. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. They're liking your geary work. Nice, man. Entirely curated by you. It better be. All right. Carl, you're up next. 1970s, Carl's pick. Let's see what you got a good one. That's another pretty cool one. Not even comic art, which is kind of a cheat, but I like it. I like it. Check this out, everybody.
It's in that category. I feel like
I'm voting for Carl's pick. Everyone's saying they're already going to vote for my pick. I think I'm voting for Carl's.
yeah, I mean, it doesn't get more 70s than like the Hildebrandt Lord of the Rings stuff. Like, I mean, I just like it's so beautiful. And you know, this is my I have to confess that apparently this was at OAX and I didn't go and see it. Like, but so this is my
Dude, I went to look at it like 4 times.
I know. I was such a moron. I didn't make it over to those galleries. But so this is my making up for that by picking for this show, because I saw it and I was like, oh my god, this piece is beautiful. You know, until like Peter Jackson had the movies, like it was the Hildebrandt brothers were like the defining look, and to many they still are for Lord of the Rings, and it just, come on, that's a beautiful piece.
Right.
You know, like, I love the detail on like the Balrog face and just like this like kind of saliva that's coming down out of his mouth, and it's just freaking sweet.
Yeah, it's I just think it's really, really amazing. I love that dragon winged creature guy. I love it. The colors and the lighting is fantastic. You know, yeah, it's spectacular. And by the way, I wasn't sure because I couldn't figure out. I don't know if you could figure it out either, Carl. But the guy's gallery, so the Korshak collection, it was confusing how he wrote it. But like in the description, it made it sound like he was trying to say. I saw it said, okay, 1976, a calendar, and then it said Ballantine, 1977. Ballantine is a paperback book publisher, and so I don't know if he was trying to say that, oh, maybe they used this for one of the editions of paperback, one of the paperback editions in 1977, you know, of Lord of the Rings or not. I don't know if you looked into that or not, or
I didn't. No, I only remember seeing these like as a calendar.
That would have required more research and work.
Yeah,
exactly.
You said
not the spirit of what we're doing.
Well, listen,
effort.
No. I do that because I want you guys to say yes to me. I'll do your show. Yeah. But if you love to spend your time and do that, by all means, spend the time, you know. Obviously.
And then he'll invite us on and say, don't do a lot of work. And then he'll say, oh, call us out. Say, hey, did you look into this? I said, no.
Like, hey,
what the hell are you doing?
Research.
Yeah, what are you doing? Exactly. I told you to research that. Okay. Excellent. No. Great piece, Carl. Very cool. All right, Kavi, you are up, my friend. And last guy in the 1970s. Let us pull that up. Check this one out, everyone.
So I gave a minor spoiler that I picked a studio artist. I picked Bernie Wrightson. Look, when most people think of 1970s Bernie Wrightson horror, they think DC. You know, they think of his various DC horror and mystery title work, as well as his Bronze Age work on Swamp Thing and stuff like that. But he did do 10 Marvel covers, I believe, before 1980, including a few of these Chamber of Darkness covers. I think he did 2 of these covers. This book only ran 8 issues. Yeah. And he did issue the covers for issues 7 and 8. So I believe technically this is the first Bernie Wrightson Marvel cover. if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what Bill J said in his description. Anyway,
Oh,
And
okay.
of course, Bill J has an incredible collection. And this is I would have a hard time choosing between Hildebrandt and a Bernie Wrightson first Marvel horror cover. But there's so many reasons I love this cover. It's got all those different techniques that Bernie has been known for, as a master artist. His various different line weights, his hatching skills, his inking skills, the way he does shadows. Like you see that shadow, like of that gargoyle on his like lower torso, over his hand. I just love that little detail.
You mean the shadow of his left hand?
Yeah, the shadow of his hand on his upper
it's awesome.
or up his leg. Just like little details like that. It's just
you
almost can't even see that figure in the background, like way in the background in the bottom right corner. But he builds in a figure there, like all the look of horror on the faces of all these of these guys in that whatever group scene over there. I think this is like a gargoyle type character coming to life, like a stone gargoyle or something. It's just an incredible cover to me. Like he moves your eyes across various portions of the image, like the way he's holding the guy's hand, and like your eyes are just drawn straight up from there. And then all that hatching and ink work in the trade dress and title, even the like little candle art in the corner box. Just so many cool details on this cover. It's just pure Wrightson, and it's pure amazing.
I love it. I remember when Bill Johnson posted it, I was like, of course Bill would be the one posting it. That guy's collection's like insanity, right? Defined, right? Like it's wild.
So is Cabs. The two guys I picked from so far have excellent stuff,
but still not better galleries than Mike's.
No,
what's that?
But still not better galleries than Mike's. Mike.
Nothing's better than Mike. No, nothing's better than Mike.
It's a weighted scale, and we don't understand the math, right?
It's funny. Okay, let me share the screen, everybody, and let me get that. Okay, got that. And I'm going to send out the second question for y'all. And here we go. So, the 1970s, this should start it off for you guys. Let me know if it's not. Should be able to vote now.
Are you going to share the link again, or do we have to go get the old link?
No, you should be. You should be in that same tab.
There it is.
There it is.
You got it? Okay.
Yep. Now it's live.
So go ahead, guys, and for all of you viewers watching, please remember, do it quickly.
Ooh, look at that! It's like.
Yeah, I want to keep it open because I want to see how it moves. With you guys, are you seeing the results change live?
Yeah.
I want to see it go live. I want to see how that switches things. Oh, interesting. Maybe I'll do that instead of revealing the results. I don't know. You guys can tell me if you prefer me to reveal them or to just keep them showing it all.
I don't think it really matters, right?
Yeah,
we're only going to stick around for a minute.
Voting.
Yeah. All right, guys. There's a few of you that voted on the first one, and about 5 of you that voted the first time that haven't gotten it in yet. So I'm going to let it go another 20 seconds or so, and then I'm going to close the voting. Don't complain after that. Hey, you closed the voting. All right, so another 20 seconds or so. There's number 19 coming in. So another 4 of you that voted earlier and haven't done so yet. So just a few more seconds, but interesting that the Balrog is. It's not that it's
part of what I would expect, like this order, personally. But.
Really? Okay, yeah. So it hasn't changed from 19 voters, everybody. So I'm gonna go in and close the voting on this now. That's more than enough time. And so here we go. Voting is closed. Okay. Yeah. So. Listen, I'm not surprised. It's a beautiful piece, but I have to say it's pretty impressive from the point of view that my expectation would have been that, well, the Wrightson is still Wrightson, and Wrightson is at least comic book art, whereas the other one is non-comic.
But when you think of Wrightson, is that an iconic Wrightson that everybody
No,
thinks about?
no, of
When you
course,
think of
of course.
Hildebrandt, that's an iconic Hildebrandt that everyone thinks
Yeah,
about.
yeah,
When you think of Jeff Jones, that's an iconic Jeff Jones that everyone thinks about.
yeah.
And it's
You
like
know,
for
I
many,
get
like
that.
Lord of
And
the Rings, like
even
it's like
despite that, the Bernie was still second. You know what I mean? So I think that says a lot about the strength of that Bernie cover as well.
Yeah, but are you saying you're not surprised? What were you expecting?
I'm not
Tom?
surprised. No, I'm not.
Yeah, you're not surprised.
Yeah, that's the order I would have voted for.
Oh, really?
Is that the order you voted though?
Yeah, I believe so.
Interesting.
Oh, damn it.
Hey, Hyder, what's up, bud? Needed some Neil Adams. Hey, what can I say? People are gonna pick what they want to pick, right? Yeah, right. Whatever, Alberto. Hi,
It
Kevin.
doesn't matter. This is all.
I'm looking forward to when Marcus
fun.
comes on and makes his picks.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll watch that show.
Can't wait.
Exactly. I'm waiting.
It'll
wait.
all be Alex Maleev convention sketches representing different eras.
The cows will have come home and the pigs will be flying overhead when that happens.
It'll be Mannix recreations from every
Different eras.
decade. Yeah.
Hey, I'll be okay. I'll be okay with that as long as he makes an appearance on screen. Like
And
that's it.
Kelly Jones commissions.
Yeah.
Kelly Jones, exactly.
Say you'll do an all Mannix show if Marcus comes on and
Marcus, I will do an all Mannix episode if you come on and present some artwork and talk. All right, there you go. All right. So I'm down for that Mannix recreation show. I'm sure you are. Right? No Neil Adams pick in the 70s. Crazy. Jesus Christ. Guys, there's literally at least tens of thousands of pieces or hundreds of thousands of pieces of art created in the 1970s.
Right.
And there's only 4 of us that can pick a total of 4 pieces. And they're like, oh, I can't believe Neil Adams wasn't like, what?
There's
You guys
100
are
guys we didn't pick.
Oh, you
Yeah.
guys are nuts, man. Of those, the Jones. Look at that. Hydra goes with the Jones. All right.
Well, if you want, you could remind the audience for the 30th time that you instructed us not to choose our top
That's right.
piece of that decade, just
That's
to pick a piece.
Pick a piece. No, pick a piece that caught
You
your
enjoy.
attention, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just some random bogus. The first piece you saw, obviously, right?
Well, I sort of did that.
You sort of did that, you lazy prick. Okay.
First piece I saw that I liked that fit the decade that I was trying to slot in.
That's funny. Okay. All right. Excellent. So that's round 2 over and done with, everybody. Let us move on to round 3. Let me cue that up. Oh, what's James? James, what's up, James? These picks are terrible, and you all should feel bad about your life choices. Nice. I wonder what James is going to think about the 90s picks, because that's his decade, right? So let's see if he sticks around for that and see what happens. Oh,
He
look at
doesn't
that.
know how I feel about my life choices. Maybe I do feel bad.
Do you know?
Eh,
You're good. All right. So let me cue up my next one. All right. So now we have hit the 1980s, everybody. And for the 1980s, I am the first selector. I got 2 slides. One is kind of scanned. One is photo, because I'm not sure which one you guys would think looked better. So here we go. Let's check out what I picked. So yes, Crisis on
number 1 cover. Damn.
Huh?
Just number 1.
Yeah, it's just the first issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths wraparound cover by George Perez.
Never heard of this
In
one.
the collection of
That
currently
unknown
unknown.
is such a great collection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's like an unknown
19
cover from an unknown collector. Cool.
Unknown.
1985, everybody. I mean, what is there to say? You guys know we've talked about this in the past on past episodes of various shows where I've mentioned that, to me, Crisis on Infinite Earths is still, to this day, the single greatest comic book epic story. So, in other words, a self-contained, long-form story that is considered sort of epic with lots of characters and drama and whatnot. Yeah, my favorite of all time. I think it still stands the test. Let me show you a picture of the photograph here. The slide with the photograph. Maybe this looks a little bit more, so at least you could see what the whole board looks like, even though it's at an angle, of course. Which image do you guys prefer? Seeing it at an angle like this and seeing the whole thing, or kind of cropped like this?
I would prefer this if it was higher res, but
Yeah, it's not. Unfortunately, it's
this
the
looks
only
clearer. Yeah, this looks
Yeah.
clearer.
Yeah. Yeah, that little one is a really small scan. It's a really tiny scan, and don't remember where I got it, but I've had it in my computer for years. So yeah, that's it, But
So this isn't currently sitting in someone's gallery or known where it is.
exactly. It's nowhere to be found at the moment. Yeah. Yeah. What's the theme for the 80s picks? Well, it's interesting that you say that, Peter, because for a future episode, what I was thinking to keep tonight's theme of still splitting it by decades and then adding another theme to it. Yeah, just because that way it gives us
today the theme is just 80s, right?
What do you mean?
Well, his question is, what are the themes for the 80s picks? Well, the theme is just they're created in the 80s.
Oh, right.
That's it. That's the theme.
Yes, exactly, Alberto. Exactly. Byrne? What about Byrne? Nice pick. Ruben gets the assignment. For Christ's sake, Ruben cheating with the double page spread. How's that cheating? It's still one piece. It's one big piece.
Technically, it's a wraparound cover. Wraparound cover.
James, asking you, Carl, is Crisis better than Death of Superman?
My response below is, James, are you trying to get me comic art canceled? What's going on, man?
Right.
And Caesar, I do believe it is a single large board. I cannot swear to it, though. And there you go.
Look at the picture again. See if there's a seam on there.
Yeah, give me a second here. Let me go back to the photo. Check that out.
Doesn't look like it.
It looks like one board. I think it's one board.
Looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Yeah. So yeah, if it is, it's even better because I mean, okay, you can't put it in a portfolio. I mean, unless it's one of those giant ones, obviously, But yeah, what a decade, Marcelo. Exactly. Crisis, Dark Knight Returns, Watchmen, Mouse. Yeah, exactly. But TMNT 84. Right on, man. Yeah. So yeah, good stuff. I'm surprised. Of course, not from you, Mike, because I know that's not your era or whatever, or not your type of comics. But Copy, I'm just curious. You read Crisis, right?
I've read it before. Am I the person that could go on a podcast like Garrett Crabb and like go deep about? No, I've only read it that one time.
The one time,
I'm much more of a Marvel guy than a DC guy when it comes to crossovers. Like I like my core Batman reading and some Superman reading and some other DC stuff. Obviously, Swamp Thing. I love Swamp Thing, but Swamp Thing's probably at the top of my DC. Like what I read and have enjoyed. But yeah, I'm not an expert on all the nitty gritty details of Crisis and all the implications of the universe that happened after and all, that's not me.
Yeah.
So to jump in with to answer James in honesty. So I enjoy DC stuff, but reading Crisis to me, I enjoy it, but it feels like work. I mean, just there's a lot going on there, and there's so much dialogue. There's so much. It's all encompassing. When I first read it, I didn't know as much about the DC universe,
right?
So it didn't land as well. I went back and read it years later and really enjoyed it. But it does. I can read Death of Superman. Well, actually, Death of Superman is that's like nothing because it's I love it, but it's one big fight. That's not really it's comparing a story to just an action sequence, and
right.
You can't really
exactly. But having said that, with Death of Superman, when I refer to Death of Superman, the whole four-part,
And I mean, and the honest answer is I would rather sit down and read the Return of Superman over Crisis because it just. Crisis it's very heavy and it just feels like time consuming and work. So,
well, I'm sad to hear that. Tim says the Swamp Thing crossover, Crisis crossover issue was the best single issue crossover comic.
That was a good
Okay.
issue. In the
I
run
really
in that
enjoyed
run.
it. I definitely really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd say it was the best, but most of those crossovers were kind of like, it had like a 22-page story and 1 or 2 pages in that story tied into the Crisis, right? It was just kind of a cash grab, basically, to try to get people to buy all those other titles, Superman's dead. Yeah. 4 times. Who the hell would be
Permanently.
4 times. When it came out, all the comic geeks in school talked about it nonstop. Really? I would have thought, Tom, that everybody at school was talking about Secret Wars only, not Crisis. But yeah, that's nice to hear anyways. Okay. So let me move it over and pass the baton to, speaking of baton, did you guys see that video where the high school race with the girls, they're having a baton race, and they're coming around the corner, and one of the girls is like, she seems angry that the other girl's passing her in the lane next to her, and she whacks her off the head with the baton. You didn't see that? Holy crap!
I'll have to look it up, but yeah. No,
it kept like all kinds of videos about it, from different channels kept popping up in front of me. I was like, holy shit!
I'm shocked it took this long for that to happen. They're carrying a weapon.
Okay, let me see here. What do we got? Okay, yeah. So here we go. Mike's 1980s pick. And wow, I forgot about that. Yeah. For the second time tonight, we see a piece by this artist. Check it out.
Okay, I guess it's my turn. I picked this because it's the first appearance of Killer Croc, and I guess I like his.
I don't remember that. Is it?
Yeah, I think that's in the description on CAF.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't notice that. Okay.
And so, just like this iteration, and then I like how subsequent artists, they have their iteration of him, but like this is how he first appeared, and just pretty cool, and little cameo with Batman. And
yeah,
I like
cool.
it.
Yeah, I like that.
Liberal.
I like that he's like all in trench coat with the hat, like he's like a gumshoe from the 1950s detective type. You know what I mean? I thought that that was pretty funny way to disguise himself.
Well, I guess. Well, we're 80s. I was thinking 50s. Everybody dressed like that, right? In the 50s.
Well, in the 50s, not the 80s.
Yeah, not the 80s. No.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, sir, Marcus. Don Newton again. Yes, sir. Don Newton's great, man.
The other one.
What's that?
What was the other Don Newton page?
Oh, that was the one that Carl picked. That Sunday looking strip, science fiction.
Round 1, right? Yeah.
1968. Yeah. So no, very nice. Yeah, and nice job by Giordano on the inks. So beautifully spotted blacks. I love that high contrast, especially the shadow across the face in the first panel, all the shadowing on the wall in the third panel. I mean, that's just all beautiful.
That nice inset panel.
And the inset panel. I love all 3 of the inset panels in the last panel, right? Yeah, right. With the one eye on Killer Croc, and then the double eyes for Batman and Killer Croc at the bottom.
They're looking right at each other.
Yeah,
those are great.
That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really a lot of fun. And yes, sir, a mainstream pick for Mike. Exactly, Stanley. And Newton died in the 80s. That's correct, Sean. I believe it was like 82 to 84, somewhere in that 2-year span. Not too much time had passed, I believe, from his death and Gene Day, maybe within a couple of years, something like that, So nice pick, Mike. All right, so we continue the passing of the baton down to Carl. And for Carl,
the whack.
The whacking of the baton.
Mike's gonna hit me.
Careful how you pass that baton. So for Carl, we have this one.
Yeah, I tried to go something. The assignment I took it as is try to find things that, with the exception of that Hildebrand piece, but this one for sure was one that I've not read the series. I'm not familiar with it. It just caught my eye because there were a couple reasons. Like I love that top panel, him crashing out of the window, but I really love the bottom 3 panels. Especially just I like how it's broken up with the skyline that's there. But
Yeah, me too.
broken up
Yeah.
panels. And I just love how fluid Spidey is. Like he just is like you just feel the motion of like him. It's like a smooth kind of like flipping through a way. And I just think that's really cool. It just looks like a great pick. A great picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sean loves it. Yeah, there you go. The collection of Sean Clancy. You done well, Sean. This one's really cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, I always to your point about the background, I always love that technique. And I mean, it's not original. It's been done for many decades, but I love that technique on the bottom half of the page where the background is, so it's like multiple panels. The background image is the same piece across the 3 panels, but the foreground figures are obviously redrawn multiple times, Yeah. It's just really cool. It reminds me of those paintings, like, I don't know when they got popular, like in the late 80s, early 90s, like you'd go to like IKEA or one of those types of shops and they'd have, you'd buy a painting from them that you put on your wall, but like it's 3 different pieces that you set up next to each other, kind of like those 3 panels.
Yeah.
It's one image, but it's like separated into 3 pieces. I like that. And CJ says panel 2 is great. I like them all actually. Yeah. Peter says great page. Sean, big favorite. Sean.
Love the motion.
Great
of the whole
page and also like a very memorable story moment from this run.
Oh yeah, you remember reading this copy?
Yeah, I read this.
What's
not
I
an
no
82, obviously, but I read this
No.
probably the late 90s. But,
What was going on in this issue? I honestly know nothing about.
Black Cat is in dire straits right there.
Well, that part I kind of picked up on. But,
Carl, you know what? I'll tell you, because you read digitally anyways. I would suggest to you start reading Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man from even in the 60s, somewhere a good place would be like the first appearance Cloak and Dagger. So 64.
Yeah.
And if you ever have the time, from 64 to 100, it's just a really nice, fun run of comics. Given that it was the secondary Spidey title, it was really, really good. A lot of Black Cat stuff going on, Kingpin stuff, really fun stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. Really fun run, like a good 3-year consecutive run, and still some stuff that was really good even beyond issue 100 with Sin Eater. I don't know if you know what Sin Eater is, but that was a lot of fun. So yeah, some great stuff.
Yeah, I think they tried bringing back that character to some degree.
I heard they did. I was like, come on, man, what do you? I always have to bring everybody back, though, So Sean says, I love Mooney's inks on the Black Cat, and the romance of Spider-Man and Black Cat was one of those stories I went back and collected after I stopped buying. Yeah. Derek, Doc Ock beat the crap out of Black Cat like Doomsday beat up the Blue Beetle.
Derek's
You're spoiling it.
But you know what?
He metaphored it into DC terms.
And I'm like, oh, okay. So he knows the audience. He knows the assignment. So good job, sir.
Yeah. But Black Cat was feeling like she needed to become more powerful if she was going to be Spider-Man's girlfriend. Yeah. It was all great stuff for sure, My pick is either X-Men 133 or 136 cover. Okay, well, too bad you won't see him tonight.
Add it to the
But, all right, let us go to the last pick in this 3rd round of the 1980s. Kavi himself. And for that, I've got 1, 2, 3 slides. And you'll see in a second why. Let's check this out, everybody. Here's the first slide. All right.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is in the collection of a newer collector in the hobby. His name.
I think that guy's that's a fucking loser. That loser guy there. Yeah, I know that guy. Yeah.
I believe it's pronounced Marcus.
Marcus Y or something. Yeah.
No way I. Like no way I.
Why?
Marcus,
Why?
No way I. Yeah. Look, okay. I had to pick something out of Marcus just to have fun a little bit. But I also am a big fan of the original Star Wars Marvel run, and rather than choose a piece that was just ran in one issue, I chose the corner box art by Ron Frenz and Tom Palmer. I believe not all of these were used on books, but a subset of these was used on like I want to say 20 something issues. Ron Frenz only did like 13, I think 12 or 13 issues in the run, but his corner box stuff didn't start until issue 84, I believe. And issue 84 was the one and only issue that David Mazzucchelli did. So his corner box stuff basically started running mainly after he was done with the run. I think one issue he had left where his own corner box ran on it. I forget if that was like issue 98, 90 or 99 or something like that. But this set of corner box ran on like, I think approximately 20 issues, maybe slightly more than 20 issues. So multiple use, lots of nostalgia, 80s Star Wars corner box art. So yeah,
Super cool.
Marcus has a lot of great Star Wars pieces, but this is probably like my sentimental favorite just because of how many issues in the run you see it on the cover.
Right. And so here, obviously, the bottom right-hand corner image is the one they used. And then the two Skywalker images on the top right corner are the ones that they then used here on these two issues. And then here, let's go back to the original. The shot with the team on the bottom left-hand corner, you can see.
I had to highlight Marcus's terrible choice comment. Sorry.
That's okay. I highlighted it earlier anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
It's still a terrible choice.
It
Highlighted twice.
So there you go. So very cool. Let me just get a bunch of your last comments here. Marcus with the different gems. Who's Marcus? Exactly. David Barr. What's up, Australia? What's going on? Almost a quarter of the series run, right? And
definitely more than 20 issues for sure. So
I miss those corner boxes too. Yeah, I like that classic 80s layout look of all the Marvel comics, man. I love that stuff. That is corner boxes. Yeah, that is a great set, Marcus. Love it. And that'll be dead last. We'll see in a moment. Let's see. No Frank Miller. Is the show over? How do you know there's no Frank Miller? Maybe, look at you guys, Neil Adams.
Why does there have to be Frank Miller all the time?
Yeah, right.
What's the deal?
Or like the Neil Adams had to be there, right? 1970s, of course Neil Adams had to be there. Okay. So yeah, let me share the screen again here, everybody. We're gonna go and vote for the 1980s pieces now. Let's see. All right. So okay, let me share this one. Tell me it says join at slido.com. Anyone?
I have the window open still, and it hasn't popped up yet.
Yeah, okay. It hasn't popped up on the.
Oh no! I'm just talking about on YouTube, on StreamYard.
Yeah, on YouTube, it's up on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Excellent. Okay, so let me hit the 1980s. Here we go. And here we go. This should get it going for you guys. Let me know if you see the ability to vote right now.
Yep.
Okay. All right. 1 minute, everybody. Please do your. Don't spend too much time. Please, 1 minute. Make your choices so I can close the voting in about a minute. Okay. Let me see. And so far, okay. So this time I have the results hidden. That's okay. Since they're already hidden, I'll reveal them at the end. And let me see what these guys are saying. Boo this man. Tough choice for me. Tough choice, Sean. start the poll. You are not showing the live voting results this time. Oh, do you? Well, you guys didn't tell me. I'm curious. You guys should let me know if you prefer seeing them happen in real time or if you want me to reveal them after the voting is closed.
Maybe not, because that may affect voting. No?
That's what I was gonna say. I think you should just leave it
Yeah.
and then just have it pop up at the end, because then
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I've already rigged it. Yeah. Just so you know, I'm not voting. Hidden. Yes, they're hidden right now. All right. So just like the last question, the second question was 19 voters. So I guess the first the extra 4 or 5 from the first question that had voted are not participating. Oh, we got a 20th one this time. Got a 20th one. All right. I'll leave it another 10, 15 seconds, please. So please lock them in. And then I'm going to close voting, guys. All right. And and by the way, you just sent in your absentee ballot. Nice. That's a good way to vote. I also did want to say, everybody, that you don't actually even have to choose all 4 of the pieces. So I don't know if you know that, but you can vote just for 1 piece or 2 pieces or 3 or 4. So just know that, okay? It doesn't have to be all 4.
Complicate the math even more.
Can I only vote for my 4th favorite piece? How do I do that?
That's funny. Look at Sean. He wants to be cheating.
There you
go. You're the 20th, Tom. Excellent. Okay, but there's a 21st, so that's pretty good. Probably should have picked my Miller instead. Oh, would you stop it?
Nah.
Any prize for the winner? Yeah, a slap to the face or a shot to the head. Which one do you prefer?
With a baton.
Yeah.
With the baton.
I thought it was just punishment by having to come back.
Oh, that's funny. I love that. Thank you, Tommy.
That's why I want mine to be 4th place every time. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
All right. I'm closing the voting. Here we go. Closing the voting. All right. Let's see what we got here. All right. So that is closed. And now let us reveal the results. Here we go. Nice. Okay. So Crisis, that's not shocking to me. Star Wars. Yeah, I would have expected maybe 2 and 3 could have gone either way, I think. But there are a lot of Star Wars guys, fans among you, so that's not surprising.
There's also a lot of Marcus fans, so let's not
forget. And a lot of Marcus fans. So you think, Javi, that had a lot to do with it? I would, yeah.
Look, I didn't know that we were going to be voting when I made my picks, but maybe I would have chosen all Marcus picks. I knew.
I would have.
See.
Yeah, but that's
always a crowd favorite.
Cool. Let's see. Mark says, surprised that Milgram was so high. Wow, Sean is right there. Look at him.
I tried, Sean.
Okay.
I tried.
I got to come up with something for next week now, guys. Sean just canceled for next week. Oh, well. No accountability. A cover versus a bunch of pages. Hey, nobody knows what the others picked, man. And we weren't trying to outdo each other, like we said. You pick just something quickly that catches your eye, not what we,
Marcus haters don't watch this show.
And a lot of Marcus haters. And what about his enemies? I guess he doesn't have any. Fair win. Crisis is a great cover. I agree. Those are the correct answers. Thank you, Tom. Yes, sir. I agree. But okay, very good. Let me stop sharing the screen here, everybody. Yes, okay. So that's the end of the 3rd round. And what do you say, Mark? It was a good Milgram, but I'm a Newton fan. Okay. All right. Hey, it's not $1 million Milgram, but it'll do. Okay. Let me queue up the first piece of round number 4. So, James, this one's for you. We are entering the 1990s. And let me see how all 4 of us will disappoint you without any X-Men art.
What a shitty decade.
Let's see. Where am I? Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah, this one's a color piece, everybody. So this stood out to me immediately, and that's why I picked it. So, all right, this is my the first pick of the 4th round, the 1980s. And here we go. So it's the Wizard number 42 fold-in cover, whatever you want to call it. I guess, yeah, fold-in. From 1995 in the collection of Patrick Hatfield. My favorite part of this was always the Green Goblin. I just thought that was the most outstandingly evil-looking Green Goblin face. The lighting was amazing. I love the Red Skull and Galactus. I hate the Loki because it's clear that Alex put one of his close friends into a very cheesy spandex costume. And it looks not only like he's wearing spandex, but it looks like it's just some random friend of his. So I'm not a fan of the Loki at all. The right-hand side of the cover, I love the Kingpin. Not a big fan of the rest of it. But overall, as a whole, I find it packs a nice punch with really, really rich, deep colors. And yeah, the lighting especially. I've always been a big fan of this. So just to take a quick look, guys, this is the published version. So it's basically the same thing, but just not as vibrant.
Yeah.
You know? And as you can tell, those of you wondering, on the right third, that is indeed a crease you see going down that cuts through the Red Skull. And that's because it's two pieces of paper that he taped together. Yeah, so that's literally what it looks like.
To get the bigger canvas.
Sorry?
To get the bigger canvas size.
Exactly. He simply did not have a big enough, a large enough piece of paper. And so he had to add a piece of paper to the biggest one he had and just to extend it. So, yeah, so that's it. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it's pretty iconic from the 90s. I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah. It's a great.
You guys remember this one though?
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
From back in the day?
Yep. Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Okay.
I don't remember it from back in the day, but I remember seeing it on the internet.
Yeah. I was like big into Wizard. All the like buying those each month. And that was in like 95 was still when I was like really into monthly stuff. So yeah, for sure. I remember this one. I probably own this one. It's probably in a box somewhere.
Oh, do you? You still have your Wizard?
Yeah, I'm sure.
This was on the inside, right? Not on the
Exactly. It folded like inward or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Like one of these pieces actually was the front cover, which I believe is the Green Goblin portion. And so it
I think that's
true. So it folds in like two times kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
No, it's not airbrush, CJ. He uses apparently he uses just acrylics as far as I know. I mean, I would think he uses airbrush, and those hazy white things in the background, right? Yeah, so in some areas it probably is. I would say so. Yeah. But most of it is not. So I would say just highlights, bits and pieces here and there.
I thought he used gouache, but yeah, it could be.
Oh yeah,
could be a different era. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Marcus is saying gouache also.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay, never saw it before, Sean. Wow, interesting. And gouache, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'll take your word for it. Yeah, I didn't really look into it too much. I'm expecting Liefeld, Mark McFarlane, Lee Portasio. Okay.
The assignment wasn't that specific.
Exactly.
All 90s.
All right.
Choose.
All right. Now I'm going to pass over the baton again. Crack him over the head. Here we go, Mike. Mike's piece. I like this one. And it's funny because I always actually disliked this guy's art. But I've grown to appreciate it more over the years. Back in the day, because I was more into realism, and this is, sort of the other direction from realism. But I appreciate it a lot more now. Let's check this out. Here we go.
Nice.
Yeah, this is. Don't understand why you don't like Kelly Jones, because he's awesome.
No, I do now, but like I said, I used to not like it because it was way too abstract, and I was just a realist. I was a fan of realism. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, I get it. Like some of
Yeah.
his Batman and detective covers with Batman has like a 18 pack and all that.
Yeah. A
But
dead man, drawn like a skeleton instead of a human. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, I primarily picked this just for the bottom panel, that close up of Swamp Thing with those deep inset eyes and just all the dark patches on there. You can see like whatever it is, moss on his face, just creating these layers. And yeah, I guess a lot of people are appreciating his art now. If you've looked at any auction results, they're just crazy for his stuff now.
Oh, sure. Although, to be fair, they certainly always went crazy for it on the Batman stuff. I from what I remember, going back to the 2000s,
Right.
But now it's kind of like almost anything from that era of the 90s. So even if it's the Dead Man stuff or whatever it is, it seems like people will pay up for it.
Right. And then, so for Marcus, yeah, Swamp Thing came out earlier, but this page is from the 90s. So
It's 1990 exactly.
Don't
Yeah,
let
you
him
just
get
made-
under your skin, Mike. Don't let him get under your
no, he's riling me up now.
He made the cut. He made the cut with 1990.
Right.
And just like I believe Kavi, yours is I believe a 1990 exactly as well, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've always been a big Kelly Jones fan with even with his Crusades book and all that. I like his art.
Yeah. And by the way, Sean, Max art, I don't think doesn't he not sell it? I think he doesn't sell that stuff, does he? I think that's what the story was. I don't remember though. I'm not.
I think Marcus is getting confused about being a decade late is because of his commission return. Decade late. This page is right on time.
Well, look, Caesar's looking to get a commission. He would kill Jonah Hex question. Exactly, Caesar. It's just be prepared that you might have to wait a decade to get it back from him. So that's
right.
All.
That's the question: is when are you going to get it?
Yeah. So that's it. But no, I love it. Now it's a great page, and I of course I love that close up in the bottom. But even that first panel there, kind of like half body in the swamp or whatever the hell that stuff is.
Looking at it now, it looks like a Dolly piece.
Dolly?
Yeah.
What do you mean by Dolly?
Not Parton, but Salvador.
Oh, a Dali. Okay, yeah.
Like that top panel, like the
Yeah.
That figure on the top panel looks kind of Dolly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, very much so. Yeah, the whole panel could be a Dali piece, right?
Right.
Yeah. It's Salvador, not Salvador, but yes, CJ. You busted my chops enough today, so I'm getting payback a little bit here. Kind of looks like a crotch goblin. That's right, like the crotch goblin.
Early appearance.
Now that you talk about it, yeah. Hello, Dolly. Very good. Okay, so very, very nice.
That's the crotch goblin prototype.
Good.
So
Exactly.
For Kelly Jones. So Kelly Jones, like I equate Kelly Jones to very similar to John Bogdanov for me. Like as far as the in this sense. So
in the way that you reacted.
Yep. In the 90s. In the 90s, I was like, it was too wild.
Yeah.
Like when I was reading like Nightfall and stuff, those covers, I was like, what the hell is this? Like
Exactly.
It didn't speak to me. And then over time, I was like, oh my God, those are great. They're beautiful. So same thing with Bogdanov stuff. Like it kind of took me out of the story when I was reading them. But then now I look back, I'm like, oh my God, that stupid teenager. What was that?
There's two guys that I collect heavily, Dean Ormston and Guy Davis, who when I first saw them in the books, I'm reading titles and then it comes to their art and I'm like, what's going on here? And then now I love it.
Did you or did you not pick Bogdanov for your 90s?
I did. No, I did.
I figured.
And, actually, Mike, have you read the Kelly Jones, like the Dracula stuff they're doing right now?
No, not yet.
Matt Wagner. you should check it out. Like talking about how I've come around to Kelly Jones's work, like that stuff is beautiful. That the Dracula book that he's doing, they're on the first volume's out, and then the second one's coming out. But yeah, it's a beautiful book. So
Yeah, I live in a small town. I don't have a local comic shop, so
they're actually they were
it's all
like
ordered.
a crowdfunding type thing. Yeah. So it's the
Oh.
whole volume. It's a graphic novel. The first volume. The campaign was, I think they do each campaign in October. So I'm sure they probably have extra copies. And I actually think I think Dark Horse also put out a copy of it as well. Like
Okay,
printed
I'll
it
look
afterwards.
for
So yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
You're good. Good reco. All right. The baton is about to smash Carl's head.
Yeah. So let me say this. So before we show the piece. So the 90s stuff, like clearly everyone knows that like I love a lot of that stuff. So for
That's your decade.
that's
your
that's
decade.
that's where I was like, that perfect comic reading age to enjoy the stuff. So for my picks, I just really looked through things that were posted on CAF and it just kind of scrolled down to see. So I picked the first 90s piece that jumped out. To me. So, and I think it might surprise some people. Yeah.
That was the assignment. Yeah. Because
it was not choose your favorite 90s Superman piece that exists.
Correct.
Yeah. No.
Which is clearly the ones that I own.
Which is the expectation, the unwritten expectation that will not be met.
No Bogdanov Steel tonight.
There you go.
All right. Here it is, everybody. And to be honest, Carl, out of all of the choices tonight, this is the one I was waiting because I want to see what you have to say about it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
That's what I say. It's unexpected. So Dark Empire first. So to me, this takes me back to a time when 1992. There wasn't a lot of Star Wars stuff out. Dark Horse was. I'm pretty sure this was their first foray into Star Wars comics. I could be wrong. It's the first thing that I read that Dark Horse did, and it was the continuation of like the Star Wars story. I think at this time, I think the Thrawn novels were out. I think I think so. I think Timothy Zahn's books I think came out in 91. So anyway, so there after 86 there was like no new Star Wars stuff. So the kids that grew up on Star Wars, there was a long drought. And then finally,
the Dark Ages.
And you look back, it really wasn't that long, but to a kid, it was forever. And so the new books came out written by Timothy Zahn. And then when Dark Horse got the rights for the Star Wars comic books, and I read Dark Empire, and it's like it blew my mind because it's such a distinctive look. And I always think of the art I love, but it's the colors of the whole series that are so distinct, and you instantly see it. You're like, it's Cam Kennedy, it's the Dark Empire stuff. And yeah, so this is like at the end of the story where Luke is fighting like a cloned Emperor Palpatine, and Palpatine like creates this like force storm. So it's just this beautiful kind of I love the color. I mean, it's the color that grabbed me. But it's like a lot of it's greens. There's like blues and purples, and it's just like really vivid colors that I absolutely love from the series. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, Caesar Wright Dorman cover. Yeah, that's the other thing. So Dave Dorman, like the covers, they're amazing too. Like they instantly see those. And if one of those would have passed my eye when I was scrolling, I would have picked one of those. But yeah.
All right.
Because it's not like it's like the best composed page. It's not like it's such a that's why it's like it's not going to be. It's going to pick that I think is going to surprise people because it's not like it's this iconic page. It's just one that right as soon as I saw it, it took me right back to that time, and it was just a great time to be a Star Wars fan again.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember when this, when they got the license and these guys started putting out Star Wars comics, and I was like, wow, Star Wars? Holy crap! There hasn't been anything Star Wars in ages. Like it just felt like a lifetime. Like in the it at that time, Star Wars was not in the cultural zeitgeist. It had already been kind of forgotten. The Marvel series had died out a few years earlier, and it was just like nobody was talking about it. There was no news about like potential new movies being produced, for the future in Hollywood. so the franchise itself, it was just kind of like nobody was. Yeah, there was like Star Wars was not a big thing at the time. You know.
So here's a fun quick story too. So I didn't know that because there was such a drought for Star Wars stuff. I had no idea that there were new novels. The Timothy Zahn Thrawn trilogy, the Heir to the Empire, when that came out, I didn't know that it was a thing. I was I think I was like 7th grade, but I went into a classroom. It was a computer class, and I saw this book sitting on this counter like next to this kid. I was like, holy, what is that? What is this like Star Wars book that you have? And then we started talking about Star Wars, and then that guy became like my lifelong best friend, because it was just like, that we instantly bonded of Star Wars, because it was nowhere to be seen, like you said.
Right.
So
yeah, and then I guess you could say that it the IP became what it is today once they finally put out those. Once they put out those re-release of the original 3 with the extra digitized scenes or whatever, once they did that, just the fact that they were going to put them back out and everybody rushed to the theaters, they wanted to see those extra scenes, that ever since then, it's just, it's not gone away since then, pretty much. Since 1998, I think?
97 was in there.
96, 7. Yeah. The marketing kind of started in 96.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and that was, I mean, the internet. That was like the internet early heyday, and then ever since then, it's not gone away.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
and this stuff was even like 5 years before that, like the comics and the new novels. So,
yeah. And Caesar says there was a pent up need for new Star Wars stories. This was it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it had been long enough, All right, excellent. Kavi, my man, you are up next.
One last hope for the obvious 90 picks.
Yes, exactly. One last hope for James. I'm loving everything.
All right. So am I. But
yeah. I'm good. But like to remind you guys, this is not our favorites. Hopefully, starting with the next time I do this type of show and tell episode, then we'll make it okay. Pick your favorites. Spend as much or as little time as you want to, but it's going to be about picking favorites. All right.
I think the strategy behind your choices, Ruben, was to have us pick random things to piss people off enough to come on the show next time and be like, no, these idiots don't know what they're doing. I'm going to pick better shit than that. So yeah, that was brilliant.
You might have figured something out.
Yeah.
What is this random page?
That's awesome. All right. Last hope. Exactly. There you go. All right. Let me cue this up for Kavi. And hey, I know Kavi's pick is a cool one. And the owner was here earlier. I haven't heard him make a comment for a long time, so I hope he didn't leave. But let's check it out. Here we go. Tell us a little bit about this one, Kavi.
Yes, so Michael Reyes, a.k.a. Maki Pupu, owns this one. Great guy, great collector. And I feel like this pick is a bit of a swerve. Yes, Jim Lee is like one of those artists that you think about immediately from the 90s, but you probably think more about his black and white X-Men run and other projects than a painted cover to Punisher magazine. But that's the choice I made. But I love this cover. Punisher magazine, I think that there was only like 15 or 16 issues of Punisher magazine. They all had painted covers.
Yes, sir.
This is the only one Jim Lee did, because this issue reprinted Punisher War Journal annual one and War Journal and normal #1. So it was a War Journal focused reprint issue of Punisher magazine, and it's a painted Jim Lee cover. I think that's kind of rare enough on its own, but the image itself is so damn good. I mean, it's a Punisher image, but frankly, it almost reminds me of a Batman cover. It gives me Batman vibes with the lightning bolt, the rain, what is that, a gargoyle or a bird, or he perched on a ledge. It's a very Batman-esque cover.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a Punisher cover, but it's great. So congrats, Maki, on it. because it's
Yeah.
amazing. He has a framed. I think he has a framed picture on his calf post of it on his wall.
I didn't grab that.
Yeah, no worries, but it's good that it's framed and on Maki Poo-Poo's wall. So
Yeah.
congrats, Maki Poo-Poo, on owning it.
Congrats for
Yeah,
sure.
exactly, Michael. Congratulations. It's a beauty. What I remember when this was coming out, and I was a huge, I was as big a Jim Lee fan as anybody at the time. And what I freaked out about was the fact that it's like, wow, Jim Lee's painting? Like he can even paint? Wow. Oh, he can pencil, he can ink, and now he can even paint. Like it was just like, wow, oh, multi-talented, Yeah. And at the time I was still a huge Punisher fan. I'm not so much anymore, but at the time it was just a big deal. And yeah, I thought this was a great pick when you showed it. And I especially love it because we get to see what most people only saw. And listen, when it came out as a magazine, we were all like, wow, that's awesome. But when you see the original, you're like, holy shit, it's way more awesome than we used to think it was on the magazine,
Yeah, that those colors didn't quite translate the way that they do, obviously, in the original art and printing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's like still a cool book to come across and find if you're into like the magazine size issues, which I am personally.
Yeah.
I really like magazine size comics and reprints and stuff like that too. So man. Love this
very
one.
cool, man.
Nice
Very,
pick, man.
very, very, very cool choice. Yeah. Awesome. All right, everybody. Let me first share the screen again with y'all, and I will. Here we go. That should be showing the whole join at slido.com. Is that what you're seeing on the YouTube?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. And let me start off the 90s. Here we go. Poll is active. I'm sorry. Hold on. Sorry. Let me stop it. I forgot. I've got to give you guys. Sorry. Let me stop that. I forgot. Because I did, you get three questions per link. So let me jump back into the comments here.
Oh, so it's a new link for the last two.
Yeah. So you guys now it's okay to get rid of the open tab, the Slido tab you had. You can get rid of that one now. I'm giving you a new link. There you go. It's popped into the chat now. All right. So click on that link, and that will have three more poll questions total for us. All right, so I'll give this one a little bit longer just because I know it takes probably a few seconds for it to load up for a lot of you. Jeff says, I managed the grocery trip during tonight's 90s pieces. Are you trying to say we took too long for your taste, Jeff?
I feel like we're making good pace, but yeah.
I think we're making great pace, Cobby. Yeah. We're gonna be able to wrap this up in a neat and tidy 3 hours minus, I think.
We could always do better. Sorry, Stanley.
When you're averaging like 4.5, 4:45, you should be very happy that we're going to do 3.
I only said that to bother Stanley. That's it. That's the only reason.
You took a nap, did you, Alberto? It's fun. No, I'm just a fast shopper. Nice. Shit. I wish I'd get you to come here and do my shopping for me.
All right, load the poll already, bro. What's going on?
Right.
I forgot
Nobody said anything.
I was like, is it loaded? Yeah.
All right. So here we go. So starting. So that should have you. Let me know if you've got that.
Yeah, it says poll locked, but it's
poll locked.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we go. Yeah, sorry. Here we go. It should. No more poll locks.
There we go.
There we go. All right. There you go, everyone. All right. So give that a vote. Yeah, did your taxes? I still have to do mine. I've been delaying it since I was short on funds to pay the government, but I got the money now, so I can finally start doing my taxes and filing them. Yeah, it's up now. So there you go. We'll give you guys about a minute, everybody. And we'll see. How come I don't see this time? I don't see anybody. Yeah. The number of people
in the poll, it shows 50. It looks like 15 so far.
Yeah,
like
15.
15.
Oh, sorry.
But I don't see it on the. I
don't
see it on the screen there, like we saw before on the.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
Yeah.
That's weird.
There's medicine for that, CJ.
Okay, I don't know why, but anyways, that's okay. There's two people saying it's not up, so I know that they're not. They
click on the second link. It's not the link that you were using before. It's
yeah.
this-
So yeah, you guys, did you hear me? Were you? I don't know if you're paying attention or if you're doing double duty. You have to use the link, the new link. I popped in a new link. Are you doing it with the new link?
I just shared the new link twice from both my
Okay,
account
thanks,
and
man.
your account.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you. But just say yes or no, Mickey. Mickey, did you use the new link? Because Rick said it worked for him.
We got 17 now.
Oh yeah, okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Keep
all
me
the
updated.
comments are coming in delayed, so I'm sure whoever didn't find it is finding it now.
Yeah, it's put it now. Yeah.
Okay, and let me just go into the.
It's working.
And I suspect this will get
Yeah.
less votes because it's the 90s. So
Yeah, but it's kind of partially not working, right? Because usually the screen I'm sharing normally was showing us how many people were voting, and now it's not showing me anything. So
Do you
Well,
have
that's-
the new screen, or are you?
Yeah, are you
using
still
the old one?
sharing the old
Hold on.
link?
Okay, hold on a
'Cause
second.
on our- it's new link.
Wait. Let me see here. So, hold on. Sorry. Okay, so we were on
20 people have voted now, so
Okay, so hold on. Let me come back to yeah. Okay, let me just do this again. Share.
it worked
Yeah,
for
this-
James, and he's a Slido first timer. So you know.
I thought he was a
Oh.
Slido shareholder. I thought he
Okay,
was on
it
the board, sitting on the board of Slido.
seems to be showing the update 21 people. Is that what you guys got?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Mickey said
Excellent.
he
All right.
finally got
Finally.
it.
All right, Mickey, I'll give you a few seconds and I'll close it up. 21 is about the number. There's 22,
22.
so that's cool. All right. And all right. Wow, a bunch of you guys. Well, you're not listening to me now because you're gone, but we were at 40 something people. Now we're down to 32. So a lot of people don't care
Too
to
much
see this.
messing around with Slido logistics. Let's just get to the results.
Whatever. It's
Yeah.
fun. We're having a good time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's it. Finally got it. All right. So let me close the polling here, close the voting. All right, close votes. Okay, now it says voting closed. Excellent. All right. Let me reveal the results. Here we go. Okay, so no surprise on the Punisher. Although I gotta say, I would not have been shocked to see Wizard or Punisher
Me too.
as the first one, you know, because a lot of Alex Ross fans out there. So, but yeah,
And it looks like the last two picks are tied for third
Yep.
based on the weighting. Of all
Yeah,
the
exactly.
1, 2,
That's
3,
right.
4 rankings.
It's yeah, exactly. What that means, I guess, is the weighting ended up in a tie, right? Kind of like in the Olympics, right? When there's an exact tie to the 1,000th second in a race, and for bronze, right? So you can't just decide who's going to get the bronze. So you give the third and fourth place person the bronze medal, right? And
I feel
So-
like an Olympian.
I thought they just flipped a coin like Two-Face.
I mean, it makes sense. Though. When you're, I'm sure like the it was either one or two. I mean that was going to be the top choices for the round for sure. Because those are, I mean, it's like how do you out of the '90s like Jim Lee and Alex Ross, like yeah, those are going to be the
Yeah, it would have been easy
Yeah.
to pick, you know, a Jim Lee X-Men from somewhere. Just do a quick
Yeah.
search, Jim Lee X-Men, and pick something. That
Yeah,
could
it
have
was-
probably won too.
It was interesting because you know because I love the '90s. I thought it was like a tougher. I was like, I'm just going to go whatever I see first because you could overthink
Yeah,
it, and like I was like,
exactly.
oh,
I didn't
man,
want to
like,
overthink it. I
there's
think
so much stuff that I love.
I saw Maki Poo Poo on my feed post something. I
perfect.
clicked on his gallery. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's 90s.
Love it.
Love that.
That's it.
Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
All right. All right, so here we go. We're going to go into the 5th and final round, folks. And I am up again, my turn. So now this is for year 2000 onwards. So basically the new millennium, any piece from the new millennium. And let me cue
Which is a
that
quarter of
up.
a century.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
mean,
right.
like-
You know it's a quarter of a century. Exactly this year, a quarter of a century.
When does like the modern age get like split up? Because
I mean, I look at those decades like independently of each other, the 2000s, the 2010s. But
Yeah.
for making a pick, it's fine. You know?
Yeah.
Oh no, exactly. It's just because I figured I wanted to cover the entirety of the comic books
Makes sense.
publishing, right? So
yeah,
That's
and like
it.
and as I'm saying, like, because it's like silver, bronze, and it goes like modern age, which is like
no, that's it,
hell,
and that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I prefer using the decades, because I despise that whole comic book metal naming with the metal. Every decade that goes by, they add another metallic name to it. It's like so stupid. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. And they keep stretching the goalposts, you know. It's like I've said before. In 1982, when I was 12 getting into comics, the Bronze Age had ended at the end of the 70s. And then you were in the modern age in 1982, you know. But now everybody's like, oh, the Bronze Age stretches into 1985 or 86. It's like, what?
Yeah. Like
Right?
how? Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, I still don't know exactly what the Copper Age dates are, nor what metal the 90s is based on besides foil or gold or something.
Exactly.
But then you have the Golden Age, so you can't use gold. You know? Whatever.
No fair. Oh, no fair, Dwayne. Oh,
Maybe eventually, Dwayne. Maybe if this is such a popular format.
Hey, if you guys want to see this type of format show again, again, there's all different ways to do it, and we don't have to cover every decade, right? So, and we don't even have to do it by any decade whatsoever.
You could just do a 2010s only episode and
Right,
cover
right.
Yeah,
every
right.
year of the 2010s. Who knows?
Right. Pre and post Mannix, nice. The first age was 30 years. Yes. My vote is the 2010s should be lead and fool's gold. Nice. That's a good one. I vote that they just refer to them as the decades and stop using metallic names. I think it's so stupid. But anyways, the NFT age, right? All right. So let me cue that up. My first piece, final piece for tonight's show and tell is this one. Batman number 126 by Ryan Sook in the collection of Zach Franks from 2022. So I just got to tell you guys, when I went to Felix's site, and I don't normally because I don't collect anything, from the artists that he has, but I decided to go and check it out one day, but just by coincidence, I saw that this cover had it had been dropped in that art drop, and it blew my mind. I am so in love with this cover. I remember thinking to myself, it was already sold. And if it had not been sold, I think it was only it's all relative, but $3,000. Had it been available, I would have bought it. And because when I laid eyes on it, the first thing I thought was, oh my God, I would buy that and frame it. I would custom frame this. I love it that much. I just love the perspective. Everything about the perspective is just absolutely astonishing. I love it. All the work on Catwoman, all that fine detail that at this size, obviously, you can't really see very well. But yeah, just spectacular modern day piece. And I am happy to report that even though I didn't get the opportunity to buy and frame it, the guy who did buy it did end up framing it. And it's on CAF in his gallery, Zach Franks. So you can see it there framed as well. So yeah, that's it. That's what I love about it. Let me just quickly see what other people are saying. Very cool pick, very nice, excellent. Hey, I honestly didn't expect to get people caring, to be honest.
Yeah, I like Sook's covers, his DC stuff.
Yeah, he's a good artist. Very good. Yeah, very, very good artist. 3K is a steal. Well, I wouldn't say it's a steal for me. I would have been happy to pay the $3, but if I would have had to pay more than that, Dwayne, I would not have been so excited. But Yeah, 3. Yeah, I would have loved to have gotten the opportunity to get that. So, yeah, no, Marcus, it was, believe it or not, let me come back to you. It was no color, but I will say, sorry, Zach, I got to be honest. Not happy with how he went with the matte, because he did go with like an off-white, in the cream color, whatever, off-white color family, but he went with a single matte. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, it's always double matted, looks the best. Occasionally, a triple matte can look good too, but I find it sometimes can be overkill. But single matte is too plain and boring looking. And the single matte that he chose, it's so thick. You guys should go check it out in his gallery. It's so thick. It's like it's beveled. And it looks so thick. I'm just like, ooh, no. So I'm not a big fan of that. But at least the frame was black, off-white matte. So, still pretty good. I'll give him props for that. Carl, you look like a man who wants to say something.
No.
No?
I
Okay.
just it's
Yeah.
Ruben always has something to say about framing.
When it comes to
Yeah,
frame,
that's all.
until you see it, it's hard to comment on a frame until you see it. But
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
that's all. It's like, yeah, of course.
I'm a Felix fanboy. He's a good guy. He didn't consult Ruben's framer. No, he didn't. I couldn't. That's right. Black frame, white double matte for black and white art. Stop the insanity. Nice, Peter. All right. So I will pass the baton over to Mike, Mr. NSN himself. And for that, we go to this one. Tell us about what you liked about this one.
I'm not a big superhero guy, but for some reason I really like the Marvel Knights 4 title. Primarily,
you read it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
I know.
That's
it's
surprising.
shocking.
Wow.
But I just love the interior artists that they got, McNiven, and then I've got 3 pages from a later issue from this series because I like it that much. So I just like the way they depicted the Fantastic Four.
I like the body language.
Yeah, just the look of them is just it just strikes me for some reason. It appeals to me. Like I said, you'd be surprised to know that I do have 3 pages, not by McNiven, but by a later artist.
Oh, really?
From this series.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool, Mike. Yeah, I really like I like emotional scenes and stuff. So that's why I liked that you picked this. This was really cool. I love the Reed's, head bowed down like that. But you know what's funny? It's I love that visual, right? And I'm thinking, oh my God, like what happened? Like, why is Reed so sad? And I'm thinking, okay, oh my God, did she get pregnant and they lost the child or something like that?
Why are you going there?
And then I read it and he's saying something like, yeah, unfortunately, Stu, because we can't pay and we can't come up with the money, they're kicking us out. They're going to take the Baxter building away from us. I'm like, that's it?
That's to Reed. That's worse than losing a child.
Yeah, like I know, but that's it's just so bizarre to me, like what? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Emotional.
that is kind of the 5th family member.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know. It's just, I guess I'm just saying what's weird about it is like, that they would come up with a story where like, oh, the Fantastic Four, they can't afford to pay the rent of the building anymore. They had to lose the building. I don't know. It just seems kind of cheesy to me on it, honestly.
I still like the figure work. So I looked it up. The penciler is different, but the inker is the same on the pages that I have.
Oh.
And then, so that's just why it appeals to me.
Yeah. No, it's nice.
Good pick, Mike. Yeah, I like it.
I mean, it's not going to compete with the covers that you guys picked, but
obviously,
I didn't pick a cover. Spoiler: I didn't pick a cover, but it's close.
I may have.
Cool.
Oh, and FYI, you guys, we talked about it a couple of weeks back. Speaking of McNiven, I checked again with the library, and they did have it.
There it is.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just, again, this ties into what I said at the beginning. The reason for doing another show like this is because I want something where I don't have to do all the work, so it can give me time to read shit like this and find out what if it's good or not, you know.
So you can read the recommendations you get from doing the other shows.
All the other shows, exactly. Thank you, exactly. So I'm looking forward to finding some time. So exactly. All right, let me get this out of here. Okay. All right. So excellent, Carl. You're up, and let me let me get that piece ready. Hey, what's going on, Lee? Good to see you.
Hey, Lee.
Old man, take a look. Oh yeah, nice. That's a good one. That's a good one, and that's a very, very young, very, very, very young one. What, the 1967? I can't remember, when he was living on the farm a few years after. Anyways,
Copper
great
Age,
song.
Neil Young.
Great song. Yeah, great. Very young Neil Young. Yeah. I'm a lot like you. Okay. All right. So here we go. Let me move this over. And of course, we got to get this one. I love it, though. I love it. Check it out.
This is one.
Sorry.
Oh,
This one I picked. Actually, I had an idea. Like, because I was scrolling through CAF looking for stuff, and then I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? And it was hard. It was hard to like pick something, and then I had this one jump to mind because this was posted a while back, maybe like in December. But I went and grabbed it because I was like, I really love this one.
Check it out.
There you go. So it's my current obsession, the Transformers title, and especially the art of Jorge Corona. Now, so when you think of like modern covers, it's very pinup stuff, right? So, but I feel like in this one, it's a pinup of Bruticus. But what I love out of this, it's this giant combiner robot, and you get the scale of how massive he is. You get the power lines down in the front. But I get Godzilla vibes in this. It's a piece that like I can almost hear kind of like air raid sirens going off in the background. Just emergency thing. You hear the crunch of like the trees and I don't know. Like it's a pinup that like triggers a lot of senses, and that's what like I love about this piece. And it's just like so moody and perfect. I love it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and you and I have talked privately and on this show, publicly, and I when I started seeing the Corona art, I immediately was like, oh wow, like I really have come to like Corona's work better than DWJ's.
Yeah, I've said that a couple times, like in like unboxings and stuff. I mean, I love and I have Daniel Warren Johnson Transformer stuff. I have other Daniel Warren Johnson stuff that I'm picking up. I bought some of his Moon is Following pages, but like for this title, Jorge Corona, he continues to get better with each issue, and he started strong too with issue 7, and it just gets better and better and better. So yeah, I just love the lumbering, like you just feel the weight and the size of the character here, and it's just freaking perfect.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Did you try to get this one, Carl?
So I had the opportunity to get this one, but I opted to go to like interior panels because I love covers, but like a lot of the series, like the thing I love about this series are the moments, so it was a matter of, do I spend the money to get a cover, or do I spread it out and get multiple examples of pages with Beachcomber on it, which is essentially what I did. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's a good pick. And
but
of course,
still, this is like, I think probably my favorite Jorge Corona cover, and he even did a Beachcomber cover. But like this one, I just love it so much.
Yeah, and out of tonight's picks, definitely the single most recent one, of course.
Yeah.
This calendar year. So just came out. I think it came out like 8 days into the January, into the new year.
I feel like my pick is practically vintage compared to this. How early into the 2000s.
It's like, you want modern? Okay, here we go. Modern.
It kind of is though, Gabi. I mean, compared to that one.
I mean, at this point, but I still stuck to the criteria given.
Yeah. No. It's a good pick. No, it's good. Okay, sounds good. All right, so let us cue that up, and here we go. The baton has passed.
Yo.
Yeah, so David Finch, this is in the collection of Duke Fleed, who also goes by #1 Guru fan now, I think. Like,
Yeah.
right? Duke
Yeah.
Fleed, aka #1 Guru fan. So there's a couple reasons I chose this. I mean, Duke has got a great collection, obviously. I could have chosen a piece out of his collection from every one of these decades that we've been talking about, because he's got a very diverse, wide array of stuff that you could choose from in his collection. But I chose this one for the 2000s because I'm a big fan of the Marvel Earth 1610, the original Ultimate Universe books, right? Starting with the
Spidey.
Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Elektra, Ultimate Elektra Daredevil, like a lot of those books. I was a teenager and stuff when those were originally coming out, and then I re-experienced them multiple times, especially Ultimate Spider-Man. I mean, that's my favorite one. I could have easily picked an Ultimate Spider-Man Bagley T-Bear page, but I swerved a little bit with this Finch T-Bear page, and I have to shout out T-Bear because I think he can ink over anybody, in my opinion, and make it look amazing. And I love his work over David Finch. I think Finch did. I'm not sure exactly how many issues Finch did on Ultimate X-Men, but he did a run with Mark Miller, and he did a run with Brian Bendis as well. So I think it was like 14, 15 issues or so of Ultimate X-Men. And yeah, I mean, just look at this freaking Wolvie splash. It's almost paying homage to the John Buscema cover, to Wolverine ongoing #1, but he's not doing the same exact pose, and this is much more brutal of an image from a content standpoint. But yeah, right. I love this, and this is not a cover, it's a splash page. But yeah, I would love to own this one. The only thing I wish it had a better like color scan instead of this kind of black and white grayscale scan, so you can't see necessarily the tone of the paper in this scan. But
exactly, I hated that.
That's my only pet peeve. Yeah, I almost didn't select it just because I was like, I wish the scan was better, But it's a great. I just chose it anyway because I
definitely want to see more of that one.
It's so awesome. It's just so awesome. So yeah, definitely wish I could pry this one out of Duke's collection.
But has that been a thought in your mind, or have you actually ever?
I haven't actually reached out to him to say, hey, or whatever. But I would love that if he ever wanted to sell it. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know. He listed like 6 pieces for sale today. This wasn't one of them.
I have not been on CAF today, so this is my only comic. This is my comic art thing for today. I've got to catch up on CAF tomorrow. Well,
I think Mike's trying to tell you that, hey, it looks like he needs money, so maybe it's time to hit him up now.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying he listed 6.
But I'll say it. Like, you never know. Like, he's looking to raise some money, so that's usually the best time to hit somebody, right? Like, he might part with it. You never know.
If somebody lists a bunch of stuff for sale, I always look at their CAF for something that I like, and then go, well, are you going to put this one up?
Yeah, that happened to me. I've posted some stuff, and then I get
regardless. I just chose it because I for 2000s, especially those first 10 years of 2000s, when I think Marvel Ultimate Universe, and I think Marvel Knights also, which is why I was so shocked to see Mike's pick. I was like, whoa, okay, there's an Ultimate Universe page and a Marvel Knights page, and that's pretty much identifies Marvel in the 2000s.
Right. They had great artists on all those titles.
Great.
Excellent. All right. Ready for voting? I'm going to open up for voting, everybody. And we'll give you about a minute. So here we go. It should be open right now. Yep. Okay, good. All right. So, hey, I didn't screw up the Slido too much for my first shot,
I think this is the toughest category.
I think so too.
Vote.
Yeah, I now that you mention it, it's true. It's pretty tough, right? Like,
they were all like every piece. I was like, yeah, I could. Yep. I like that one.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So well done, gentlemen. Well done.
Good picks, guys. Yeah. So now that we've all shown all 5 of our choices, which was the piece that you used to own, Mike?
Let's guess. Let's take a guess.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
Let's guess.
So Mike, Mike, just so everybody knows, everybody who's watching, out of Mike's 5 picks, he told us before the show that he actually used to own one of them. And yeah, so now we have to guess which one of the 5
Which
was
one is my collection?
Which one? I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go Rick Geary. What do you say, Kavi and Carl?
That was the 70s one, right? Or
Yeah.
Was it the-
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
I was leaning towards that one too, but I'll go with the Marvel Knights since he said he owns other Marvel Knights artwork already, but from a different artist.
But he had to
so-
check the creatives involved, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
quite
I guess you're
clear.
right. He kind of gave
I'm-
away that he didn't.
I don't know.
he kinda
Maybe
gave that
he's just
away.
that sly. I'm
Yeah,
going
I'm
with
gonna
the
go-
Kelly Jones.
I don't
The
know.
Kelly
Yeah,
Jones piece.
It's.
I think
I
he
would-
upgraded a Kelly Jones piece. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'll go with the. I don't know. It's
That was a
got to
great
be one
one,
of
but,
those two.
yeah.
Maybe it's not. I'm hoping it's not one of those two now, but that's what I'll go with.
All right. So before I reveal the votes, let us know, Mike, what is the one you owned?
Well, for just on Carl's comment, I don't upgrade. I hoard. So if I get a better example, now I have a
Just
better example
keep it.
for the one I used to have.
Yeah.
But the answer is the Black Cat mystery cover I
What?
used to own.
Wow.
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 Well, that's
Okay,
cool. I'm glad it
that's
was
great.
that because that's
Yeah.
pretty freaking cool.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So I made you change your pick on the 50s one, and you ended up choosing the one you used to own once.
So I went right to that one. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
if I
I
can't
know
use
that-
this
I know that one.
I'll go
Yeah.
to that one.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Oh,
Yeah,
that's fun.
I agree with Kabi though. I'm glad to be wrong.
I'm glad it was that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That's really cool. Wow. All right, everyone. Only 18 of you voted this time. No problem. Let me close the voting. Here we go. And let me reveal the results. Wow.
Tied.
Wow.
You see,
Yeah.
it says 1-1, so they're tied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting. Okay. Because that's really interesting to me because I would never ever have bet that a Catwoman could tie or beat Wolverine. Like, no way.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Well,
mind-blowing.
if only 18 people voted, and there was just as many number 2 votes for the Batman cover as whatever.
Yeah,
like,
1 and
who
2
knows?
back and forth.
And you got some people like DC more, some people like
Yeah.
Marvel more. So it kind of equals out. I would say both are deserving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
like
of
you
them.
said- like
Honestly,
Mike said,
all
this
4
was
were
a
deserving.
tough one. Yeah,
Honestly, all 4 were deserving, but yeah.
my gut was that it was going to be Wolverine, just because that,
Yeah.
and I thought it was going to be like a clear number 1 after seeing all those, even though they're all great. It's just because how do you beat like a Finch Wolverine? It's like beautiful. So
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually. I'm.
And you had less votes, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows how the math worked out?
Redo the voting with just the top 2 and try. Oh.
People
That's
in
okay.
the chat, raise your hand if you liked the Catwoman better.
I think Mike lost is what Stanley says. What the hell are you doing? What are you harping on him for? He lost.
There's
what do
no
you mean he
winning or
lost?
losing here. It's just
There's
we're
no
all losing.
losing. It's all fun. We're all having fun, just showing art, just for your sake, Stanley.
But I see where your heart's at, Stanley.
Yeah, yeah. He's not going to forget you, Stanley. Hey, let me stop the screen here. Oh, actually, you know what? No, I got one final question, you guys. Just so I can just get a little bit of data for future episodes. Let me stop this one. All right. And let me, since I'm still sharing the screen, hopefully you guys didn't get rid of your tabs. Let me go to the next one. Okay. And the next one is... So which of tonight's in-studio personalities was your favorite? Okay, and you don't have to vote for me, all right? Obviously, you don't have to vote for me. Just I'd rather you vote for one of these other
Is this
three
a
guys.
ranked choice or just one only?
you could pick one or rank them. It doesn't matter, you know. But as long as you guys pick Kavi, Mike, or Carl, I'm good. It just whatever. I just want to know who I can bring back in the future, you know.
Why do I only see 4th place options?
Huh?
You must have a different operating system than I do, because
No, I'm saying all of them are 4th place options for me. You know,
It should be a 4-way tie for last.
yeah, that's
I
exactly.
can
Thank you, Mike. That's what I was trying to say.
I can only feel good in my heart about choosing the reference to Mike Perkins. So that's what I'm going with.
You know, I got to tell you, the results. I don't know what 2, 3, and 4 would come in, but I had a feeling number 1 would be the one that came in. So, yeah, that wasn't too hard to to go with. Oh, why do they keep changing? People keep voting. What the hell? Oh, there's only 11 people though voted on that one. Wow, look at that. Oh, look at that, James. I missed the poll. Putting the kid to bed. Well, it's not closed yet. I haven't closed it, so you can choose if you want. You know. Where is the none of the above? Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that at the time. I figured, they got 3 good guests. You should love them all, right? But just pick your favorite. That's all. So, anyways, all right. I'm going to close it out, everybody. Let me get rid of
in a night where it wasn't a competition. That one was a clear competition. Let's see who won that one.
Yeah.
The a-hole, the Tom Grummett fan, the Mike Perkins rep, or the Ruben.
Yeah, forget the modern choices. That was the hardest option to choose.
That was hard.
That's funny, man.
So was the 70s, I think, with the Hildebrandt and the Wrights.
Yeah,
and
that was
all those. The Jeff Jones. These are all hard to choose from.
There is the answer to that, Marcus, is no. There is no cap art tonight.
Sorry,
and
Alberto.
we will not do even a single poll extra, Stanley. Okay, now this is all over. Let's start the show. Nice. The last poll was from the 70s. What are you talking about? See, that's why when I'm experimenting with stuff, that's when you guys should know better than to try to make jokes and stuff. I don't know when you're joking or when you're being serious at this point. Thank you, CJ. Appreciate it. So yeah, I guess that should have been the last question I picked, was a poll question to say, did you like it, and would you want to see this format again? That's really, I don't know. Put Y for yes and N for no if you want. You guys, please tell me, those 35 of you watching live right now, if you don't mind, I'd appreciate it if you put Y for yes, N for no. The question being, would you like to see this kind of show again? More importantly, though, it's hard to get even one person to commit to a show, so let alone 3, which is why I barely ever do roundtables. But yeah, let me know and let me know if you'd like to participate. I mean, I know the people that have already been guests on my shows. I'm sure all of you guys would be happy to come on at some point. Yeah. So it would be nice to at some point also get newer people. But yeah, man, I'll get the same people if I have to. That's cool.
Just be warned that Ruben will tell you to just pick whatever you see,
pick anything,
and then we'll proceed to pick all bangers. So just be aware that might happen.
And he may also say 2 of your picks kind of suck. You might want to rethink those.
Really?
So I want you to pick Cap to be considered for Alberto. Yeah, this is not a friendly picking shit for our friends kind of show, So Rickster says yes. Jeff says yes. Peter says yes. There was one Wolverine James. Man. Mark says yes. Mark, thanks for hanging in all episode. Wow, it's been a while, man. Yes for the same panel. Well, I can't promise you that.
Hell no.
But let's see. Yes by Alberto. Not available. Applicable. Peter. Whatever that means. Yes, Maki Poo Poo. Yes, Sean. So I guess the yes takes it. The yays are winning. There was.
Are the no's really gonna come out and say no though? You know what I'm saying?
Well, no. But see, that's the thing. You know me, Cody. I'm. You know me. When I tell you that I just want the fucking truth, You know I'm being serious. I want the truth. I don't give a shit. Tell me no if it's no. I have asked people other
Well, for
questions.
me, the answer is yes, as long as I don't have to be on it.
now that you know, now that Tommy knows. See, now that
I
Tommy knows,
already said that, so
no, but now
that's
that
the
Tommy
truth.
knows that future episodes will involve you having to spend more time if you really want to win. Now he definitely doesn't want to be on it because he doesn't have to spend the time doing it, you know. But
I especially don't want to do it if the goal is to win. But
Yeah, that's,
yeah.
'cause it's like what I loved about this, it was like just an experiment.
But it's not about winning anyway.
No, yeah. Like, but just going through, like I went through CAF. Just I like some of the things I picked were very like me, like the Transformers cover. I knew I wanted to pick that one, but it was just fun going through CAF and looking with a purpose outside of just scrolling. You know, like it was like specifically it made me look at pieces closer than I would have. Like that Spider-Man page, I probably would just have scrolled past that and not really given it a second thought. No offense, Sean. It's not necessarily what when I'm looking on CAF, So I think it was cool. It was a really fun opportunity to do that. So I would suggest anyone, if you want to do this, it is pretty fun. It gives you a reason to when you're scrolling through CAF to
It was great. It was great to kind of go back and see pieces that from collectors I follow that I may have missed the first time that they posted it and stuff like that. Even the ones I didn't end up choosing, which it could have taken me way longer and it would have still been fun.
I missed that. Sorry, Cobby, can you repeat that?
I said like going back through galleries, like the same exercise you do when you're doing a show and tell one-on-one with a collector,
right.
Where you're going back through like stuff that they've posted a long time ago to pick out like some gems that maybe people have no idea because they posted it 8 years ago on CAF when less people were like engaging all the time on there, compared to now.
Yeah. And I mean, let me just put this out there for everybody. So some of the ideas in terms of like themes, right, that ran through my head was, for example, I was like, we could do it where the picks have to come from a particular year posted on CAF because it's easy to do that, right? Like, of course, okay, you have to kind of
look it up by the date that they posted it or whatever and make sure,
right. But I guess you'd have to pick, galleries that you're kind of interested in first, right, and go into their galleries, whatever, right? But unless is there a generic way on CAF to just hit something of 2000 and
I'm not sure if year posted is a search parameter or not. I'd have to look because off the top of my head I don't know.
But it's like within your own gallery.
Within the gallery.
Yeah.
Right. Within your own gallery, it's easy to find. Or within someone else's gallery page, it's easy to find. But I don't know if there's a custom search.
No, there's no date search on there, but you can order it by date and then get to the page that has the date that you're looking for.
Yeah, that would be probably a little.
See, and that's the thing. That's because I keep going back to the same thing, right? Where I need to be able to, if I want to be able to get guests for more episodes, they're probably not going to want to spend too much time. So it's got to be a kind of thing where like searching for the art isn't that difficult, and that's the tricky part about it, But if you do like the easiest shows to do are not necessarily the most intriguing. So in other words, and just so everybody knows, I had this idea a long time ago, but I just kind of blew it off. And then a few months ago, Mike came up with the idea again, and he ran it by me, and I was like, oh yeah, I thought about that ages ago. I just never did anything with it. And Mike was like, well, you could do it easily by, you choose, you get your people and you pick your theme, and the theme could be something like, Batman art, for instance, like a character focus kind of thing. And then
Rick is saying an actual theme would be more interesting than a year. I mean, that's just one opinion, but
yeah. No. Obviously, Rick, I would rather have a more specific theme, obviously, right? But it's just that I think the easiest ones for the guests, right, to not have to spend too much time, the easiest ones are the character-focused ones or title-focused ones. But the reason I never did a show and tell with anybody who focuses on one character, like a Batman collector or Spidey collector, it's because I've always just felt like it's so narrow that I just feel it might be a little boring, and that's my concern.
I enjoyed the open-ended nature of the process of selecting.
Yeah.
Because it didn't feel like it was too hard to do.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. I made it.
I think it was
you,
just
right?
too broad, though.
It is very broad, but that's what makes it easy. Unless you think about it too much, but I guess that's you
could always break it down. Like you could focus
that's a choice.
If you wanted to keep it like a decade or whatever, and then just do like a cover from the 70s, a panel page from the 70s, or like you could
5 different art types from
something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like so you could still keep it somewhat open-ended, but yeah.
See, and that's the thing. But then it kind of becomes like, it's funny because typically what I would do is I would think about the theme and like, okay, settle on it, right? I'd be settle on the theme, and then I start reaching out. Hey, I'm going to do this theme, right, for the multi-person show and tell. You want to be on it. You want to be on it. You want to be on it, right? But then it's harder for me because people will say yes or no based on the theme, whether they care about it or not, right? Whereas I feel like if I say, okay, on this Sunday, on this date, I'm going to do a multi-person show and tell. Do you want to be on it? And then get 3 people to agree, and then maybe ask them, okay, it's you and these 2 guys. Like, what do you guys have? And maybe ask them what theme they wanted. I don't know. It just seems like
here's what I think about that. I think you'll find people who want to do it, and I would say it's better to not really know what the search parameters are going to be, right? And then because then it like I said, for me, it was a good exercise to find pieces that I might maybe wouldn't have looked at otherwise. So I think you'll find people who want to do it, and then from there it's just like, hey, you're available this date. This is what we're going to do. It with knowing that the expectation is going to be like it'll be some type of theme,
right? I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, I'm happy. I'm happy that it was pretty much unanimous for yeses that some of these guys would like to see more of this type of show. So that's fun.
But only if Kabi's back is what they're saying is that they want Kabi back, and actually what they want is an all Kabi show picking 50 pieces of art. No, that's not. Doesn't sound appealing. All right,
no,
fair enough.
Which one, Marcus? Which one? I got 2. Which one are you talking about? I was going to put it in my gallery on Tuesday. Which one are you talking about? Let me know which one you're talking about.
Is this something Marcus sent you? Let's see it now.
Yes. Let me see what he says. Hold on. Also, just fly solo if needed. You know me, Tom. I don't like to be in the studio alone. It's weird because of that delay. It's always nice to have at least one person to sort of bounce things off of while we're waiting for the other comments to come in. It's weird to just talk to yourself out loud and not be able to hear somebody else sort of responding back. So that's why I don't like doing it by myself. Just like so sorry. What decade are we on? Nice, Carlos. Can you clone
the 2020s? We're currently in the 2020s.
Yeah.
Who knows? I decide. It's a fun idea for a show, but don't ask that same question next week. I decide everyone should show off their newest. Okay, so I know which one this. Okay, I'll do this one because we've done this. We've talked about this related stuff on this show several times. Let me just quickly. Oops, sorry. Oh, it's so weird. They've come up with these new layouts. How do I make it so that?
I'm getting dizzy. Hold on.
What's so weird how they changed this, man? Okay. Anyways, here we go. All right. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. Yeah, because the reflection sucks. Let me see if I can. Oh, and I'm on. Sorry, I've got the camera on mirror. So let me just quickly non-mirror it. Here we go. Okay. A lot of reflection. So It's Ruben the Collector at Jeff Singh's house watching Blade Runner. And it's an episode, it's a Sunday, it's a Rugrats Sunday. An actual original, by the way. He pasted this shit on the original. If you could
Look at
believe
that custom stat work. It's amazing.
Yeah. And look at that. Yeah. Look at him right there on the television. They're watching television. Yeah, so you'll get to read it properly when it's in my gallery.
Marcus is requesting you take it out of the bag, but that's up to you.
Well, like I can do that really quickly, but I think you saw it pretty clearly, no? There you go. Let's see if it can focus a little bit better. Can it focus? Yeah. Not that much better, but you'll see it better when it's in the gallery, all right? There we go.
Cool.
But look at all the trouble he went to send me this, man. Like one of a kind, you know. Look at this. Both of our pictures up here pasted on, pasting Harrison Ford in the TV, and like down here as well. Like that's crazy, dude. Holy shit! All this cutout work on the logos here. That's wild. But thank you again, Marcus. That was crazy. I still can't believe you would actually defile an original piece of art with all these stats. Blew my mind. Being a collector, I would think you would never do that. I figured you would do that on a copy, but on the original?
Did he use all archival materials? Like, is it?
Hey, ask him. He's in the chat. He's in the chat. But I'll put the Ruben will put it up for sale.
Somewhere out there.
He gave me look. It came with this. Let me just read it to you. Ruben, I can't believe you forgot all of these sick OAX items. I'm just returning them to you now because I tried to flip them first. Too bad OAX 2025 wasn't as good for you as advertised. Miller's was good and their zingers were top notch. See you next year at OAX 2026. Facetiously, Marcus. So good stuff. And he gave me some prints. He got the. It's funny because part of the surprise was ruined, and he didn't know it, or maybe he did know it. But he gave me a print from OAX, which was, let me see, this one. Which was a really cool Tigra, right? And he got Angelo and Sarah from the Comics Den.
Yeah, Derek got that signed by them at the show, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't know if Marcus was aware. He watches them all, so I guess he was aware. But like, I was seeing that episode, and I was like, oh, look at Derek. Derek's on the Comics Den, and then he starts saying my name and Marcus's name and Lance's name. I'm like, what's going on there? You know, I'm like, I don't know what's going on, but something weird's going to happen. You know, but I actually just thought, oh, Derek decided he wants to send me a print with the "That's Sick" on it. I thought that's what I thought it was. I didn't realize he was, helping out Marcus. You know,
yeah,
might be the guy who sends ransom notes with what to spell out. Oh, to spell right, exactly. But anyways, all right. So thank you again, guys. We're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah, that was fun.
Always enjoy hanging out with you guys.
And that's what I love about doing these kinds of shows with multiple people too, is because it's an excuse to hang around with friends and have a good time. It's pretty fun, right? So, so anytime I get a chance to do that with you guys, yeah, it's always worth it. So I appreciate, as always, that you guys said yes. So thank you again. Mike, of course, especially to you for having brought up the idea a few months back and putting the bug back into my brain. So, yeah, that was cool, man. Thank you again, everybody. I'll think up another one, and I'll hopefully do it sooner than later. For now, hold on. Last couple of what did I see? I just saw six. The experiment of insanity worked. Great job. Thank you, and I'm just glad I didn't screw up the whole Slido thing. But I gotta get James to tell me how he thinks I did, since he's the Slido expert. Way too early. Now what? Come on, go hang out with your wife, Tom. How about that? How about giving your wife a little time, right? even Alberto, you just got married. How about spending time with your wife?
It's only 8 o'clock for Alberta.
I know what Tom can do. Ruben, email Tom privately the subject for the next show, and he can start his picks now tonight.
There you go.
Tom can come on.
Get
Tom,
a head start.
I think let Tom get a head start in the next show.
Thanks, Mark. Well, Tom knows. See, Tom said, you don't remember. I don't know if you were here on that episode. Tom, I said, like, he was bitching about something, and I was like, okay, Tom, you come on, right? And it's easy to like make suggestions, but you're one of the guys who never wants to come on. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think I'm gonna do it soon, but first I gotta do it on Bill's channel, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit. Go do it on Bill's channel and get it over with, so you can finally come back here on my channel after.
Yeah.
Right. But as far as I know, Tom hasn't done it even on Bill's channel, correct? I don't know.
Tom.
Exactly. Second appearance of Slido. 2 more hours, Ruben. Yeah, what can I tell you? Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. Yeah, so let me leave you guys out with hold on, let me bring that off. Oh, thank you, James. Appreciate it. Now you need to do quizzes, word clouds, and leaderboard. I don't know if you're being serious, because I don't even know what that stuff is.
He is.
Yeah, he's being dead serious. No.
Is he serious or no?
I don't think so.
Okay. I don't know what that shit is.
Internally, I'm going to say that Ruben just said, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what?
This was bad enough.
Yeah. I already spent
I'm not doing that for Slido for like 2 years. So
yeah, I already spent 5 hours trying to figure out
But it is,
how to do this
cool.
shit.
I mean, I do like the feedback, like to have that option for other formats of shows, like whatever, like something to use in future shows. It's cool.
You mean what? Using the polling thing?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
because you might not even because you are all about like honesty in here, and even though, but somebody might not. They might not be comfortable telling a true answer in the chat. But then if you ask a question, you might get better responses and more honest responses in that way. So
right. Yeah. No, that's
you never know. Right. Yeah.
That's true. The nice thing also about using polling software is you're anonymous, right? So that's what you're saying, right? It's because that way, at least, so the people who feel bad that, I don't want to say no, I don't like it, even though I've said it a million times, you're not going to hurt my feelings. I'd rather know the truth, because listen, because if the majority said no, like, you're not hurting my feelings, you're helping me, because I don't want to do another episode and do all the work to set it up, only to find out these guys didn't even want to see it, So that's the thing. So,
yeah.
But anyways, yeah, let me leave you out with next week's whatchamacallit, the thumbnail, everybody. Again, all of you who came here tonight, and as always, I appreciate you, regulars, semi-regulars. Those of you watching on Rewind, appreciate you too. And the last thing I forgot at the beginning of the show, I didn't do this. A shout out to my newest subs, Card Stuntman, 1,000,000 books, and like 3 or 4 anonymous. Welcome, and thank you very much. I appreciate you. Let me put up this. Here we go. So, yeah, guys, please come back next week. Don't forget Nikki B's on Friday. And then come back here for the first episode. We'll hopefully hear some really good, bad, and perhaps even ugly stories about commission collecting with Sean Clancy. I think it's going to be a good, fun show. And so please come back here for that. And that's it, guys. Thanks again, boys. And peace, everybody. We will catch you next week. Cheers and go blue.